Hello. Hopefully, I know I always complain about the microphone and everything. Hopefully the mic is okay. I'm sorry if my aircon is just so loud. Plus, I do have a fan blowing on me as well. It's just hot and humid today. And there's a thunderstorm warning, which is very nice and cozy. But I have to have my aircon on. I'm so sorry. I do have filters on, and I have a pop filter, and it doesn't really work. So I just took a pantyhose kind of sock. I didn't have to cut up or anything. And that's what I'm trying to use to dampen some sound, but it is what it is. And I decided to turn the volume down a little bit on my voice because it just keeps picking up so much air, even with the filters and everything else. So I apologize if you hear a snake every time I say an S sound. That's just how it is, I guess, until summer's over and I can finally stop using my aircon. Which, by the way, I don't think people in the US say aircon, we just say AC, right? But in Japan, it's just aircon. So everyone says everyone's speaking English, so I don't know. Hope you like the jazz. I don't know if it's too loud or if I should turn it down. Seems pretty chill. But yeah, we're here today. We have this beautiful reference image. I believe I got it from either Pexels or Freepik. I'm not sure which. But you can screenshot and reverse image search if you want to. And that's what we're doing today. The other pieces in this set, when I live streamed them, I had a sketch already. But for this one, I don't. I never actually made a sketch. So we'll try doing it together today, I guess. And see how it goes. I don't usually sketch on stream or even like put my sketching in pre-recorded videos because it's kind of hard to see and it's not that exciting because my sketches are like the most minimal possible because I don't like covering up a bunch of work that I've done, or like what's the point in putting down details if I'm just gonna cover them up and then I don't know where they are anyway. So I've never been much of a detailed sketcher. But this is just a whole bunch of cotton candy, so what is there? What details are there? Not much. But yeah, I already put a post about an hour ago, or I guess an hour and a half ago, on Discord, and I put a post on YouTube, and yeah, today the plan is to start today's streaming with some art, some alcohol marker art, and then I'll take a break probably for dinner at some point, and then I'd like to do some gaming. I wrote gaming instead of Skyrim. I know we've been doing Skyrim and we've been having a good time, but every time I think about streaming Skyrim again, I think, do I want to do that again, or do we want to take a little break and do something else for a little bit? But I know a lot of people really love Skyrim, so I don't know. Maybe by the time we get to like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., it'll probably be around 7. Maybe I'll know what I want to do today, but I'm thinking a little Stardew might be nice. Maybe Pokemon, but I don't know if I'm quite in the mood for Pokemon. I don't know. By Pokemon, I mean Fire Red. Because we haven't done that in a little while. We didn't make it very far so far. I actually got farther on Leaf Green, which I've been playing on my own. Not recording or anything. So now I'm like, it's a little blurry. What did we do last time? But also I've been thinking about Bully. I really want to play Bully again. But I think I have to fix my setup quite a bit to do that because of the full screen issue. If you don't know, there's an issue with, I'm gonna turn up the music just a little because I think it's really quiet. But Rockstar hasn't updated this game on Steam in a bajillion years. They've just kind of abandoned it. And so when you open it up in Steam, it automatically full screens. You cannot play it in windowed mode. So it makes it really hard to stream because I can't access my mouse or anything. Even if I have multiple displays, if one display has it open, I can't control anything. I can't use my mouse or type or anything. So it's really hard to do anything except just play the game. And I have to like close the game before I can even end stream or like start stream and then open up the game. So very frustrating. I tried to download a mod. It didn't work. I don't know if that was my fault or it just didn't work anymore. I don't know. But that's how it is. But yeah. We'll see what happens today. We should probably get started to remove these. I'm gonna leave. I think I'm gonna leave that. So what have I done so far today? Yesterday on my way home, we had I went to work and then went to a friend's place to watch Mean Girls with some people. Because they're moving away soon, so I guess we should try to get together as much as we can. But got home late. On my way home, I got an order on Etsy, and I don't know. I have to go and check actually. I don't think it was made to order. Like I don't think it was set as made to order. But this pouch I already I made one and that's what I put as in stock, and then I gave it to a friend for I think Christmas or their birthday, I don't remember. Because no one had ordered it and I was like, oh, I'll make another one. I have the materials. But then the reality hit and I was like walking home and I was like, wait. Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to make one before I send it out. So that's what I did today, which was really annoying because apparently since I last made one, my blade, I'm pretty sure the blade in my Cricut, it's just gotten duller, which is fine. Like it's fine. It's still cutting fine. I just have to put the pressure up, but I didn't do that the first time I cut out all the little dice because it's my little dice, one of my little dice pouches, the double zipper pouches. And it's so much to weed out, and it's so hard if it's not like cut thoroughly, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can sort of like pull apart the vinyl and it doesn't look terrible, like it just needs a little help coming apart because it wasn't cut all the way through. But this was too much. I just couldn't do it and I was like, this is taking so long. I'm just gonna cut it again on more vinyl and then I'm gonna up the pressure. So I did, and then it was fine. It was fine. And the ironing went pretty fine as well. One time I had to go back over, but it was fine. So yeah, that's what I did this morning. I also annoyingly started packing, like I started stamping and stuff, my box to send it out in, and I chose a Japanese postcard size box. And then when I went to put the pouch in, I realized it was slightly too big. So I was like, no! And I had to go get a A5 size box and restamp everything and cut new paper. It was annoying. But I recorded it so I can make a reel out of it. And I think I will do a voiceover. Sometimes I just do text, sometimes I do a voiceover. When I post these reels, like these order packing reels. And I do think the ones with the voiceover do get slightly more views. Not that either get a ton of views, or maybe even slightly more likes. Maybe it's not the views that are much different. Drinking coffee. So, Boss Coffee Latte Base, lightly sweetened, or like, I guess slightly low sugar is how it's labeled, with Asaba's vanilla flavored protein milk carton. Milk. means a carton. They're one of the little cartons. And topped off with a little bit of low-fat milk. Yum yum. Okay, let's get into this. We'll see how the lighting goes again. It's quite dreary today. I don't have my room light on, so that doesn't cast a weird shadow just because the sunlight is a little dark. But we're gonna have to turn that on eventually. And I am charging still. It says it's fully charged, but I'm keeping it on the charger. My little ring light. So we'll have some light later. It starts to get dark. But let's open up. Oh, does anyone remember this? Did anyone see this? I did post it on Instagram, but I haven't made it into anything yet. I was hoping to make like a D&D themed sticker sheet. I know there's already a ton of those, but I wanted to make my own, so I did a little rucksack. Also, can I vent for a little bit about watch straps? It's summer, and even before it got super hot, like this Huawei watch, this Huawei Band 8 came with like this silicone strap, and I don't like the color. I mean, I could have chosen a different color, but I don't know, I went for this one because it was with the rose gold one, I think, and I don't like the color. It doesn't look good on my skin, and I prefer brown anyway. So I asked for Christmas for a watch strap, got it, and then it's like, how do you say, it's not even a latch. It's like you have the holes and then you like put something through the hole and it's like slightly wider on the other side. That's how it closed. But unfortunately, the more I wore it, the wider the hole became, and so it stopped staying latched. Very annoying. I tried putting Velcro. I don't know, I even cut some of it so it wasn't so bulky with the Velcro. And it did not work. So I went and bought this. And I love this. I love this. Except when it's hot, especially when I exercise in it, it gets stinky. And so I managed to clean it. Like, it took ages of trying different soaps and stuff. Finally, I tried soaking it in laundry detergent. And that seemed to work for the most part. Not 100%, but unless you're coming up to my wrist and sniffing it, then it's not going to bother anyone, I think. But then just a couple days later, it was hot, and by the time I came home, I was like, okay, you're smelly again. And I don't want to get like a skin infection or anything either, so sorry if this is TMI, but this is the realities of living in Tokyo. It's so hot and humid in the summer, and it's crazy hot for June. This is crazy. But yeah, it's been over 90 every day. It was 95, like the average of like 95, 94 for the past week. But yeah, so I've been wearing the other one, and I put this one on today again, just because it looks better with my outfit. I love this. This I got, this is Wego, which is the Korean brand. It's like wool, and it's a button-up shirt. It's men's. I got it from the men's section. But it's very nice. It's just a little too hot for summer, but I'm wearing it now because I have my aircon on and my fan on, and my arms are getting a little cold, but the rest of me isn't. So anyways, that's my ranting and my rambling before we start on the artwork. I might actually have to go turn on the light now. The sun is like actually disappearing. Did that make any difference? Might look slightly warmer. Oh, now my voice is disappearing. Okay, so I have... That's a big... What is that? Shadow being cast? Is it my laptop screen? It is my laptop. Ew! It's a little better. Oh, that's better. Okay. So I have my reference up on my laptop, which is to the left of me, here, and we're gonna sketch something out. I might have to bring this closer to me. It's gonna be annoying because the leaf of my desk, whenever I rest my arms on it, It kind of wiggles the desk, but I can't see what I'm doing. And it's so far away. For the markers and stuff, that's probably fine, but for the sketching, we'll bring it a little closer to me. I'll have to move the mic as well. Okay, well, let's get started. This is my favorite sketching pencil. No particular reason, I just like it. Oh wait, we need this kneaded eraser. And honestly, if I do this light and I point it away instead of directly at us, it's not that bad of a shadow. You can see it a little better. Alright, it's just cotton candy. Let's not freak out. This is no pressure situation. Okay, where are we starting? I like this little bit. I like how it it's sticky out. It's kind of pointy. And then it's like, and it doesn't have to be exactly the same. In fact, I kind of don't want it to be. We'll just see how we feel as we do it. Yeah, this is why I don't sketch on stream usually, because you like can't even see it. But I'm not about to draw super dark just so it can be visible on stream and then make my life more difficult later, because I'm just gonna erase it later anyway. I feel like that's a little too soon. Even though it is kind of square at the top. Hello! I've been so lonely. I've been waiting for people to come on, so I was just kind of yapping about my day. Figuring the VOD watchers might appreciate something while I do this. I don't usually sketch on stream because it's very difficult to see, but I've got the light on. I'm trying my best. I think if I... yeah, it's like too washed out if I do the light like that. But this is just the first step, so it won't be for long. See, I think that's exactly how our schedules are working out. Do you have the same, like, start time every day? Because I've been basically trying to start at, like, 3 p.m. Japan Standard Time. For the art streams anyway, now that I'm doing mostly, like, double art streams. Or, like, no, double streams, so art and then games later. Because honestly, like, I don't know, if I get really into a game like Skyrim again, then I'll... oh man! There's no room for the stick. There's no room for the stick. Is this too much? Do I need a stick? I can do a little stick, right? Honestly, I was looking at this, and it's a little too much. There's everything except the pretzel in this set. Well, no, I guess the french fries don't either, but it has a stick, like the corn dog, and this has a stick. And then I guess I'm thinking of the popsicles. I'm kind of sick of sticks because they're really hard to cut around when you do, like when I make sticker sheets. Die cuts, it's okay because they're a little bigger, but sticker sheets, it's really risky to cut around, like, you know. Okay, that's good. I had a feeling it was on your end, because I was checking and double checking, and it seemed fine. Though when I went to watch the Twitch VOD, it showed 720p instead of the bigger, like HD or whatever that I was seeing earlier. So I don't know. Maybe the VOD is only published in 720. I'm not going back. I'm not stopping. I'm just gonna make a smaller stick because I think that's what we should do for this one. Also, I've never actually gotten cotton candy with, I don't even, maybe I have with a stick, but usually, it's like, I don't know. I need my phone, except I'm filming with my phone. My other phone's in my bag. What do we usually get them in? Like usually a bag, right? Or like one of those cone, like thick paper rolls. That's what I'm used to seeing. But this reference image has like a lollipop stick. Yeah, like a paper cone, or it's just in a bag. But I feel like if I do it just like this, it just looks like a pink fluffy cloud. And I need something to show it's cotton candy. So I think I'm just gonna do like, I don't know, let's look up some pictures. I will grab my phone. I will not be lazy and not grab my phone. Let's see. Cotton candy. I'm just gonna look it up and see what images we get for anything at like a fair. Like this one's using like a wooden stick, but that's not what I'm used to. Oh, like this, like those little cones. Yeah, what kind of stick? Was it like lollipop stick or was it wooden? I think this would be cuter with this cone style. I know my capture card's being weird again. But yeah, I think that would be cuter and a little bit safer. This one has like a spiral one, but I don't think I want to add spirals. A lollipop stick, maybe that's what they're all doing these days. Because as a kid, I don't know who sold cotton candy at the like Bangor State Fair. But it was, I remember, oh, like this. It's like slightly thicker and a little easier to hold than a popsicle stick for a small child, I think. I want to do that. I think that would be a little better. Switch it up a little because we have too many sticks. Let's see, I gotta make sure it's in the center though. It's gonna be really towards the bottom, so we're gonna have to do our swatches, I think, at the top maybe today. Means we're gonna have to do a little bit out of our imagination, which I don't do a lot of recently. I think that's cute. Yeah, like one of these little thin cones. I think that's it. I think I like that. Okay, is there anything else I want to like add? Cause like, I suppose I could put some of these shadows. I could draw some of them in just so I know where they are, just lightly. And that way I don't get super lost. I'll go over with a little color pencil. I thought you meant like some sort of like 90s fair vibe, like atmosphere for a second. And I was like, I don't think that's what the intended word was. So it's fine. Autocorrect is weird. We'll just do a little, like we're not trying to keep it exactly the same as the reference. Do a little like, you can barely see it, I apologize, but I'm purposefully not gonna go dark. So we're gonna go over anything I think I need to still see with colored pencil. I'm excited though, because I don't do a lot of like pink things. I guess I did the strawberry popsicle, but I use a lot of browns and like tans and yellows and beiges in a lot of what I do. So I'm excited to like touch some markers that I like never use. Ooh, my hands are getting a bit shaky, I think, from this coffee. It's fine. I did just eat lunch, so I don't know why that would be happening. Maybe I made it too strong, but it's so tasty. So good. Okay. Let's see. Maybe if I hold it up, it's easier to see. Can you see the lines? My day's been alright. Kind of typical week, except it's just been so hot in Tokyo. Just stupidly hot. It's supposed to cool down to 30 degrees, so like 85 this week. Today is the last day in the 90s, I think, for a little bit. So we got just like the worst warm front in the middle of rainy season. So the poor hydrangeas, whenever I take the bus and like go down some of the main streets, which they have hydrangea bushes on, I'm so sad because they're so like burnt and brown. They're supposed to be slurping up water this time of year. So hopefully they come back. Just crazy weather. You'd think with the La Nina it would be a little cooler, but I guess not. Yeah? Oh, I just pulled my eraser and then a whole chunk of it came off. Actually rude. Tried to fly away from me. Like, what's the temperature over there? I know I heard the US is getting a massive heat wave. It's like high 90s plus 90% humidity. Yeah. I don't know what the humidity's been like. It's just been pretty bad. Like, at the start of the week last week, it wasn't so bad, and it was nice because my laundry dried really quickly. And I dry my laundry in my room because of my allergies. I never ever hang it outside. So that was nice, but then like towards the end of the week, stuff started falling off my walls, like the artwork and stuff I had hanging up, because it's just like melting the glue and warping the paper. Like if the air's too hot and wet, humid, then all the watercolor paper like warps. And so everything just keeps falling off my wall. It happens every year, and I can't find a better method of keeping things on my wall. And I can't use thumbtacks because I'm renting. I'm gonna erase some of this so you will not be able to see it for the most part, which is ideal. It feels so dark in my room today. But I'm glad for the rain. We need the rain. We're so desperate for rain right now. I hope it doesn't, like, I know the price of rice was insane. And so the stockpiled rice, the government's trying to get rid of, so they reduced the price a few weeks ago. And everyone, like, bought it out. I haven't had trouble getting my usual, like, microwave rice, because I'm one person, I don't eat enough rice to, like, use my rice maker all the time. Well, I have an electric pressure cooker that has, like, a rice setting. So I just buy like the microwave. Like you can get this size, which is like what, 200 or 150 grams, or the brand that I like to get has two that you can split in half because I just don't eat that much rice. I prioritize protein anyway, but also I just can't eat a lot at one time. So like it didn't affect me much, but I know all my students were like complaining like, oh my god, rice is so expensive, where's all the rice, it's gone. And so now with this weather I'm like, how are these farmers coping? Like, good luck. I know a lot of the rice is imported here anyway, because we just can't keep up with demand. Though cucumbers were a little cheaper. Oh, watermelon, finally. I finally got my first watermelons. Well, not full watermelon, but what is it? 1/8 of a watermelon? Like this. Finally got my first one of the summer on Friday. Friday? No, Saturday. And it was delicious. Because they'd just been a little too expensive. And finally it was like 640 yen or something. And I was like, okay, I was waiting until it was more like 500 something, but I will accept 640. Ugh, now I want more. I want it. What's a good color? I really like maroon, magenta-y color. That seems a little cool. What is this called? Tuscan Red. Focus. Oh, and I was doing laundry, and I took my nail polish off, and then I realized I had to switch my laundry later, so I couldn't paint them again because it would ruin them. So we get a polish-free art stream today. Let's see. I guess I should do swatches towards the top today. So maybe I gotta raise this a little bit. This one's tall. Oh. Okay. So this is the top, right? Can we see this? Yes, we can see this. That is acceptable. Question, what's the currency equivalent between US dollar and yen? I assumed it was like 100 yen to $1, but I'm unsure. Well, it was like that for a long time, and then the value of the yen just was destroyed for like the last 4 or 5 years. And so we've been struggling. I pay my student loans in US dollars, but I get paid in yen, and it's really painful. Buying plane tickets and stuff, it's very painful. So it was like, what is it now actually? It was like 40 something. It was really bad. 40 something yen to $1. It was really bad for a while. USD to JPY. Okay. Okay. Alright. It's not great. Yeah, it's $1 is 147 Japanese yen. Not great. I'm gonna see if I can. What is that? Okay. It's 68 cents. 100. Wait. 100. Wait. No. Yeah, that makes sense. 100 Japanese yen is 68 cents. So it's better than it was before. For sure. I'm gonna check one more time. Yeah, 68 cents. My math is correct. So people have been coming in, tourists, and having a great time. Good for them. I'm happy for them. I'm very jealous because nowhere I go is gonna be very cheap. Well, I guess some places, like, where was it that a student told me? I think Thailand is still relatively cheap for a Japanese person. Everywhere else, it's very cheap, very expensive. Still, hopefully it's gonna get better. But we've had like protests and stuff. I know this is cut off a little bit, but it's gonna be hard to get this all in frame. Like, the government hasn't been doing anything. Yeah, I think a lot of currencies suffered, while some, I mean, it's one or the other, right? It either goes up or it goes down. So when one currency suffers, someone else is like, oh heck yeah. Okay, we're going in. I can barely see, but that's fine. We're winging it. What else? Oh yeah, I was saying before, I already talked a little bit about my day. I got, on my way back from watching Mean Girls with some friends, I got an Etsy order for, I don't think I said earlier actually what it was, so I should probably repeat myself. It was for a Dungeons and Dragons pouch. So it's a double zipper pouch that I used heat transfer vinyl to put on like a dice design. Like all the 7 different TTRPG dice. And then it says let's roll at the top. I could probably bring up the listing actually. Instead of me just like trying to describe something, Why don't I just show it? I have an entire PC in front of me. Let's see, V1. I did renew it, so it is available again. So I was making that order this morning because I did say one in stock. However, I had actually given it, like the one that I had made to do the product photos, to make the listing, that I gave away to a friend as a gift. This one here. And, yeah, so I was like, oh, I got an order. And then I was like, wait, I have to make it before I send it. Which is fine, because I have all the materials, otherwise I wouldn't have listed it. But it meant I had to do work this morning, which is fine. I enjoy this kind of stuff. But what was really annoying is that basically since I first made those, I've used my Cricut a lot, right? I have a Cricut and a Silhouette. And my Cricut Joy is just like really easy to use for a lot of smaller things. It's like way more convenient than having to lug out the Silhouette, even though I have a Silhouette portrait, so it's not that big. But the Silhouette's been giving me trouble. So I can make sticker sheets really easily, but sometimes it does not want to cut out die cut stickers, even though I've used this material every single time, same material, same settings, and it will not cut through the backing sometimes. So I know I can do memo pads and stuff with like thin paper. Every time works fine. Sometimes when I try to do die cut stickers, it just won't cut all the way through. And I have before tried to do a sticker sheet and it cut all the way through, even with the settings exactly the same as before. So I think it's a Silhouette problem. I've heard other people have trouble with it, even though I got a Silhouette because so many people complain about Cricuts. I don't know. My Cricut Joy has been much more reliable. So I didn't use my Silhouette, I used my Cricut Joy, but I've been using it a lot in the past. When was that? Last July? I don't remember when I first made that listing. And so the blade is slightly duller, so I was cutting out the vinyl with it, and then I had to weed it. I had to like take out all the pieces that did not belong, and it was so hard because it didn't cut quite all the way through, and I actually gave up and recut it with a higher pressure, and it was still tricky but easier. So yeah, that was a bit frustrating this morning, but it's fine. It's fine. It's what I like to do. Well, I don't like that to happen, but I do like making things, so that is why I have an Etsy shop, because I like to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, now I know it, because a similar thing happened to a die cut sticker. I had someone actually message me on Etsy requesting like a larger number of a particular sticker than what I had in stock, and I was like, oh, I make those to order anyway, yeah, I'll make you more. And so I started making them, and there's one little tricky spot. It's my goldfish sticker between like one of the bottom fins and like the body, that it's kind of a big angle, and it just was not cutting all the way through. And that's when I realized I just had to up my pressure now that the blade is a little bit dull, which is normal. Again, that's normal. I don't need to replace it yet, but yeah, something to keep in mind if you have those kind of machines, is that the more you use them, the duller the blade's going to get, and eventually the same settings aren't going to work anymore. But otherwise it was fine. I did adjust it a little bit. I like basically for this one, because I used my Cricut Joy. If it was my Silhouette, I would probably just redraw it or something. But for the, you know, the white bit that you do around the artwork, so that there's an edge around it for die cut stickers, in case, so it doesn't cut into the artwork itself if, you know, it's a little bit off, because no machine is perfect. Oh, stop focusing my hand. I just like made that a little wide, like a more gentle angle around that part with the fin, and then I upped the pressure and it was fine. But yeah, and anytime you use a cutting machine or anything like that, it's always trial and error, and then when you think you got it right, it's probably gonna mess up again. So it's just part of the process. But yeah, I actually have a wear and tear. That's right. It just dulls anything. Paper, of course, is like compared to like harder materials like cardstock or plastic or whatever. It'll dull your blades not as quickly as those things. Paper will, but eventually it's gonna happen. But yeah, I actually have a video on my YouTube of how it's kind of a hack, a Cricut Joy hack, because for Cricut Joys, not Cricut Joy Extra, that's newer. I got my Cricut Joy before the Extra was a thing. But Cricut Joys do not have print and cut, which is why they're so cheap. And when I asked for Cricut Joy for my birthday, I didn't want to ask for a more expensive machine. So I got the Cricut Joy, and then I saw a bunch of videos, like all these different ways they were trying to like get the machine to cut around the images that they print. So like basically for any print and cut machine, you have registration marks that print out, and then it has like a laser that will read the registration marks. Whether it's like for Silhouette, it's just like marks around the corners, and like there's a square here, and then like a little corner mark. For Cricut, like the older versions, they would have like a whole frame. Nowadays, it's really just around the corners. But for Cricut Joy, it doesn't have a laser to read anything. So it's really meant to just like put in a plain bit of vinyl and then it'll cut out letters or something. But it doesn't know where, it has no idea if there's any design you're trying to cut around. So basically I kept seeing these videos of people using their machines and like the markers, because Cricut Joys can write with a marker as well on like cards and stuff. They would write with the marker on their mat and then cut out their design like around the edge as a square, and then just put it on the mat, the sticky mat, with like lining up the edge to like where the marker drew. And I was like, why would you draw directly on the mat? That's so messy and then not so accurate. So I was like, why don't I just print a frame? And that's how I ended up with my current method, is I print a black frame. I can show you actually, might as well. Again, why do I talk about things without showing them? But I can show you. So I have a whole stickers folder in my art file. Like, for example, this apple. This one, I think, yeah. Oh. Here we go. So I make a black border around it, and then I cut, and this, I make sure I do the what's this? Not outside, what's this? Can't think of the word. You know, the white outline. I do this in Fire Alpaca, and I just make a black border, and then I can print multiple of these out on one like A4 sheet or whatever size I want, or I can use a smaller size paper, because my Canon does a whole bunch of different sizes because it's meant for like selfie pictures and stuff. So I can actually just like do this size one at a time if I want to, and it's not wasteful. But I print this out, and then I cut with scissors really carefully along the edge. I don't use a paper cutter anymore because it's not always accurate. Oh, hello! How are you? Just explaining how I make die cut stickers without printing cut. And so I cut really carefully around just these top edges. The top and the left. This doesn't matter. And then I line these up perfectly to the very edge of the canvas with like a millimeter away from the very edge, because the software doesn't actually go all the way to the edge of the mat, which I can show you here. So you can actually see for some of these, I don't know why it messed up a little bit, but this is generally where I line up the corners. And then if I just put it into the machine, what happens is it usually, 99% of the time, it cuts around the middle of the design first, and then it will cut around the edge. So it will cut around this, and then it will try to start to cut around the black box. So then you know this is the exact position inside of the black box, so that's why it's accurately cutting around your printed image. But I then click cancel before it goes around the black box, because obviously I don't need it to cut around the black box. And that's how you do die cut stickers with a Cricut Joy and no Print-A-Cut. That is my hacks. Though I would love a Cricut Joy extra. I'm going to draw cotton candy. I have my little reference, and it says cotton candy at the top right there. So I just went in with colored pencil on top of my sketch, and now I'm gonna start swatching my markers. We're doing alcohol markers today. So let's see. I think I can go over this a little bit just to get rid of any graphite that might still be here, because the alcohol marker ink will smudge the graphite. So I don't really want any left. Okay. And then I can put this eraser away. I think we're gonna have to swatch along the top. Usually I swatch along the bottom, but I did this so tall, and this is all the way at the bottom of the paper, so we're gonna have to switch it up a little bit. So maybe I'll have to do this. Yeah, and I'm doing this in here instead of on Bristol board. Just, I know usually I do it on Bristol board, and I brought my Bristol board here. I did, but like honestly, why not? I don't know. Why not? We're switching up. This paper is pretty good for alcohol markers. There we go. I want to put this underneath so that it doesn't bleed through. This is also slightly, it's a little too tall for this. I wonder if the other, no, this is the same height. Oh well, we'll just have to be, you know what? I might just grab a piece of paper. I have some, wait, let's do it. And then it will bleed onto this instead of the next page. I'm gonna waste a page. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of do want to do it, but I already did the colored pencil. I just didn't feel like transferring today. I don't want to. I don't know. I didn't even think about it. I brought my Bristol board over and everything, and I decided not to use it. That's fine. Alcohol markers work pretty well on this paper. Like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't think it should look a little goose that I just haven't done yet. What else? The antique bison is in here too, I think. Yeah, that was pretty okay. I think it should be cohesive. Thank you. All of those, well, not the goose. Like, I've posted these on Instagram, I think, before, and they were supposed to be, like, the key and the rucksack. These are supposed to be part of a Dungeons & Dragons sticker sheet. These seashells are part of my Sea Creatures set, which has a sticker sheet and a pouch. Oh, some pumpkins. So yeah, my point is alcohol markers work pretty well on this paper. This is the Art Creations Talons. I don't know if you can even see it. Oh, yes, you can. Talons Art Creations sketchbook. I have so many of these in different sizes because they're just so good. I'll put that there. This is the most convenient place for me to put them, but it's so big. And a little shelf next to me. Okay. Change the angle a little bit. You can see what we're doing. You should. I stopped like when my hand got really bad again. When I was 13, I developed Dicker veins tendonitis or tenosynovitis, tendinosis is what's the name for it, I guess. And so I had to go like 6 weeks in a splint and stuff. And then it was like okay, because mostly in high school I used a laptop. This was before every high schooler had a laptop, but our school had a special grant. Oh, I see thunder clouds rolling in. But once I got to college, we weren't allowed to use laptops for a lot of my classes. And then I was taking art classes as well. I wanted to be an art major. And then it flared up again and I had to get surgery, and so I just stopped drawing and painting for like the rest of college basically. But then in like 2020, basically I started doing commissions again. Like I got back into actually traditional painting, because for the most part I was doing digital painting for a long time. But I liked the traditional painting when I was, stuck at home in the pandemic. So it just came back, the desire to make things, and it hasn't stopped since. Okay, is there anything here? Like the Can Do Cosmos might be nice here. I don't want to use any dice though. It's just not worth it. Cosmos. Tea Rose? What is Tea Rose? I'm looking at the cap and it looks really pinky. It's like more beigey. Okay, so Cosmos value. This one. So my usual was this with the fine tip. Let me do a little beep and write the name. Cosmos. I did the high school art class, but that's pretty much it. My friend gave me a hand-me-down art tablet, but I haven't practiced on it for a while. You should get back into it. I get it. Like for me, like recently I've been doing art and game streams, which is different than like doing it when you're not streaming, I guess. But for me, it's like either I have a game day or an art day, and there's really almost no in between, except for very recently I've been forcing myself to just do less games so that I can actually do more art. But I mean, you can. I have a draw together kind of thing on the Discord. Did I show you that before? Magma? So you can just hop on and leave us a little drawing and share your art. Hello! Wow. I think Restream is not accurately showing me viewers. This is so weird. Restream's being weird. I want to refresh, but I'm afraid it's gonna refresh the chat. It's saying 0 viewers, so I have no idea how many people are actually watching. But hello, everyone. Chat's busy today. Not usually this early in the stream. Like what I wanted to try was practice to make stuff for my pet. See? You just need a goal, right? Like when I do these sets, I have a goal. I want to use this art to make certain things. So like I've made art for D&D before. I think did I show this previously? I might have shown this before, but I will show you again to prove my point. I went on the Discord and I looked at all the links and stuff, but I didn't have a chance to listen. I've been working all weekend. And then I was at my friend's all day after work on Sunday. So I promise I looked at it, but I couldn't play music. And there's no, like, we're not allowed to use the Wi-Fi at the place I work at the weekends. Or the place I work at on the weekends. So I had my data only, and I can't like watch YouTube because it'll drain my data too fast. So what did I do during my break? I ate, obviously. And then what did I do? Oh, I've been working on my Halloween shop update, planning things. So I had my iPad and I was like planning things, but I couldn't stream, and then I went straight to my friends after work on Sunday. So I guess, what did I do Saturday night? I don't remember what I did Saturday night. Oh, it was so hot. I was so tired by the time I got home from work. What was I looking for? It must be under... It was for my Charmore Castle one-shot. And I think, was it a one-shot or did it become a two-shot? Basically, I was making artwork for the NPCs, or at least the main NPC. Where did it go? Documents? Big Mad, where is this? Oh well. Oh, here it is. I found him. Oh, it opened Fire Alpaca, but that's fine. Window capture. Fire Alpaca. There we go. This guy, right? So, I could have spent more time on him, but basically I was like, I need a guy who looks like an Earl, and I need to, like, so basically what I did was I created a letter, which I have somewhere, and I created a parchment texture, which is what I ended up using for some products in my shop, and I wrote a letter from this guy inviting the adventurers to help him, well, not help him, to join him for dinner, because they helped the local village escape a necromancer or something. And he was going to do like a charity benefit supper basically with them and celebrate them. And he lured them to his castle. And stuff went down. So I needed them to see a dude that looks like really, like, I didn't want to just AI generate an image. I wanted this to be my guy that the characters meet. I promise. I don't promise to check things out and then not. I just genuinely didn't have a chance this weekend. I guess what was I doing Saturday night? It's all literally a blur. After work. Perhaps. Oh, I couldn't sleep Saturday night. Yeah, I was just like scrolling Instagram. Sorry, I guess I would have had a chance to listen to them whilst I was suffering from insomnia. But I didn't feel like that was the moment. Pale cherry pink. It's getting, the sun is like gone now. So I apologize if it's a little dark. Powder pink? We want to go like pretty warm. So I'm thinking we want to stick to like this is pretty like vibrant. I don't need to keep it as vibrant, but I suppose I should try to keep it rather warm. Let's see. Oh, and making terrain is really fun for D&D as well. It's not quite the same as like drawing or painting a portrait, but it's still very creative and very fun. So for that same adventure, I made a graveyard. I'm gonna get R20 and R21, I think. I was trying to choose between the two, but I think I could use both of them. What is R19? Barely beige. I could use that. Pastel peach. Oh, they're all looking good. Okay, I found R20. And we want R21. And then I do want R18. I don't think it's worth it to grab both R18 and R19. Because they're so similar. It's so dark in here. And actually, I think I'm gonna turn on my light. Probably gonna cast some bad shadows, but where can I put this? With the markers here, it casts bad shadows, but we'll move the markers soon. Okay. We'll start with the lighter one. R18. I wish we could just listen to them together on stream, but it would be a problem. We're not allowed to do that. Otherwise, I would have just listened to them first thing on Friday when you told me about them. Like, I guess I could mute it. Just like, I don't know. That wouldn't be fun. R20. And then R21. Okay. That's more vibrant than I thought it would be. Huh, maybe we don't even want the R20. Actually, R20 seems a little darker than R21. Which is not what it does not look like that on the swatch sheet. We need some more. Oh, this one's also called Tea Rose. We should at least swatch it to compare. E470. I mean, I like to see you bonding, so I'm happy. I'm okay. I did like look at like the outfits look really cool. Like the whole aesthetic looks really cool. E470. Like I just was thinking like how do they perform with the paint on and it doesn't completely come off. Like what are they using? Because that's impressive. We need like the super vibrant but darker, like that's pretty good for the shadows, but my firstborn after him. That's dedication. Light prawn? How does that compare to Cosmos? Light prawn. What are you? R120. On R160. R120. Oh, got it. Okay. Alright, that might be a good transition. And we need something darker. Oh, this might be the one. It can't be too blue though. What am I seeing here? I am honestly seeing a little bit of this though. R280 current. R280, where are you? R280. RV. Hello, R200. The caps just look so different. Oh, it's here. Oh, what? Oh, that's RV280. Never mind. That's kind of cute, though. I don't want that, though. I want regular R280, not RV. R200. Oh, where is it? R30? Am I wrong? No, it's just R280. I bet it looks completely different than the cap. RV180, R110, R200. It's possible that it fell. No, I don't see anything. All in. Why is this so hard? R26, RB070. Going out of my mind trying to find a marker. I might, oh my god, I might just give up. Where is it? Oh, I found it. It's right in front of me. Their older concert sets had their paint wearing off, but I'm guessing they hired a makeup artist to apply it proper and got higher quality paint. It must, like, one of the, I think it was a GIF. You could see kind of like when they bent over, maybe I kind of saw a line, but honestly, it looked like they had already been performing for a while, and it was not sweated off, which was very impressive. Okay, anything else? R200 might be too dark. Actually, if we blend it in, it's gonna lighten up. R200. I'll start there. Let's get rid of this. It's casting a giant shadow. Ooh, we can see. I'm wearing that t-shirt I showed last stream, by the way. I'm so happy. Now I have a summer version of my favorite sweatshirt. Okay. Oh! Why are you like this? Oh, don't do that to me. How did I fix that before? It was like... What? When I switched to video, it changed it. There we go. I don't know how that works. I just move it around until it does something. For this one, I think we have to be a little higher up just because it's so tall. I accidentally pushed the, like, you know when you're in the camera and then you can look at the videos and photos you already took? That little square in the bottom. I clicked that. Maybe a little bit higher. Can you take me home? Come on. Stop moving back. Okay. There we go. We're ready. I'm actually a little warm now. I don't want to turn up my fan because it's going to be bad for the mic. I know there's a shadow, I apologize, but my room's just too dark. It's not actually it's not actually thundering. Just the sun is like way in the wrong position to come through my window, plus there's clouds. So we're gonna start with the lightest color. Which one was lightest? R18? I feel like this is so few colors compared to usual. Actually, last time we had like 3 whole sections of different colors, right? So maybe that's understandable. Or we should do this part first. Let's do that. We didn't even get the markers for that. I think this is what we used previously for a stick. And then there was a lighter one. Was this lighter? Me trying to remember instead of actually looking at the swatch chart. It was a little lighter. This is better. Where is it? Oh, this one. I remember because it was cool. CG020. Yeah, okay. So let's just remember that's not what we want. Do this one then. The light, now I have to imagine it because it's not the same as the reference. It's gonna be like this. I'll try not to put my hand there so I don't cast a shadow. Because again, it's coming from the top left, like this way. We do want the colorless blender. Yeah, it really doesn't blend as easily here as on the Bristol board, but that's okay. And then we'll add a little bit more just on the edges while it's still wet. And I don't even have to blend it out, it just sort of goes out on its own. I'll keep this around, I guess, the colorless blender. Who's that question for? Sorry, I was like staring intently at my computer and then I noticed chat. I'm trying to figure out where to start. I guess I should just do light pink everywhere. That's the R18. Oh, there's still pencil that I didn't. I should have kept that out. Where did I say that was? This one's actual magenta, but what was that? What was that color? What's the color? Dang it. It was something terracotta. Oh. What? Tuscan red. Yeah, this whole part I missed. I couldn't see it. Okay. I should keep this out so I don't lose it. I guess for anyone. How was work for me? Work for me? Last week? I don't know. It was same old, I guess. Same old, same old. I gotta zoom out my reference a little bit so I can see. should probably start around the edges. But the good thing is, because this is cotton candy, there are no... What's the word? Like, we can be blotchy, is my point. We don't have to be very precise. So even if I go around the edges, and then like the next time when I try to fill in the middle, it kind of covers a little bit, that's okay. Because you know, when you put one layer on top of another after it dries, it's a little darker. It's okay if that happens. So I'll just kind of do whatever I feel like. But I do think this paper absorbs a lot more than the Bristol board. I hope, like, it, for such a wide area like this, it feels like I'm going to use all the ink in this poor marker. Without obvious sarcasm. Do you get a lot of sarcastic guests? I guess customer, like, I'm a teacher, but like, I work at, I don't want to give too much information. I work in both like a proper school setting, but also in like a different, like I work for 2 different places. And one is like a proper, like college kind of setting. And then the other is conversation basically, and people just come in and pay money. So like, there's definitely more attention paid to customer satisfaction in one place. There's no like wide tip on this one. I just have to do this. I don't want to give too many details just because like different companies work differently, and some people might know how this company works and be able to identify it. But yeah, if you work in like a conversation school or something, then it becomes not only about teaching someone, but like, not that I've had some difficult students, but not for different reasons. But I've heard some people say like they had students who hated being corrected. These are adult students, and like whenever they would try to correct their English, they would just get angry and then like write a complaint. And it's like, bro, why do you even go to English lessons if you don't want to know what you're doing wrong? I'm doing kind of circular motions to make it look like a, you know, puffy bit of cotton candy. An X-ray? Oh. Are you feeling okay? I wish I had a faster way to do this. And I apologize if it's shaky, but it's because it's so dark today. I can't see what I'm doing unless I have it closer to me. I appreciate security guards. Honestly, I can't imagine, like, I just can't imagine being rude to anyone, regardless of what they're, like, that's just, I hate making people feel bad. I'm just not capable. So, like, I don't get it. Oh, also, I have a piece of tissue here. The flies are not so bad today. But like when it's so hot like this, I don't know if it's because I go to my friends' houses and I don't see them have such bad fly problems. And it's not like I'm gross. I like clean my place and I throw out my trash. I wonder if like a neighbor or something just happens to get flies, maybe they're not so clean. Or if there's a place where like in the pipes or something where the flies just easily breed. Because I can have like zero trash and like I'll see a couple of flies. I'm like, what are you even doing here? But yeah, I'm paranoid because I've had a fly land in my coffee before, like even with the top of the straw in. So I just, out of abundance of caution, put a little tissue on the top. We still want to know if you're okay. We want to know if you're seriously injured. Sounds like you're not, but like still. I want to know. Not every detail if you don't want to tell me, but like, you okay? Okay, I'm gonna move those. So that's the R18, which means we should probably go, I think E470 is probably the next best option. I wonder if I could actually like adjust my camera to make it lighter. Like, by configuring the video, just upping the brightness so that at least you guys don't have to look at everything and being so dark. How does that look? I think it looks okay to me in OBS. Okay, so I'm thinking E470 is the next lightest color. This one. Alright, what are we doing? Like, just going for it, I guess. Like this kind of move. Yeah, it's still not showing any viewers, but obviously that makes no sense when people are in my chat talking. So Restream's being kind of weird. I've seen a lot of older guards let it get to them after like 5 years in the hospitality industry as night shift. I'm used to people giving bad attitude. It's a them problem, not a you problem, right? I feel like I also don't. I don't know, man. I just can't imagine giving someone just doing their job a hard time. Not to say that, you know, people with any kind of authority are incapable of behaving poorly or making bad choices when it comes to interactions with customers, but I feel like a vast majority of people are just doing their job. Ooh, okay. I don't know if I can read that all out loud. I'm gonna read. Ow! I think it cut off the message. Ow, though. Even if nothing snapped, that's definitely a sprain. I sprained my foot pretty badly just walking on the side of a road with sand when there was no sidewalk, and I just slipped on the sand and like my foot went sideways because the asphalt was taller than where the sand was, where the bank was. And that messed up my foot, let alone like putting it in a hole and falling sideways. So like, I do think, even if it's annoying, I do think an x-ray is necessary. You never really know, even if it's like a tiny little fracture. The main thing that doctors worry about, like even if you don't initially feel a lot of pain or like you can't do much, the problem is if there is an issue that goes unnoticed, it could become bad later, right? Like if it heals incorrectly, it causes more problems down the road. You don't want that to happen, especially with feet. Some of these edges I'm blending out, some of them I'm not. just like, because some of the edges are harder and some of them are softer. I'm still keeping like, I'm not doing any straight strokes, right? I'm kind of almost going in like little circles or zigzags or like S shapes. That would definitely help, right? If you just, again, treat people like people ask me, not that I'm not, I don't want, I heard somewhere, what was it, Instagram or something, about like people telling their own stories to like relate to someone else, and like it feels like you don't care about their story and that you're being so, no, I care about your story. I'm just I want to show you how I understand, why I understand. For me, like a lot of people, like in various jobs that I've worked at as like a teacher slash after school helper, they ask me why I'm like so, why I can work so easily with kids, and I'm just like, I treat them like people, I talk to them like people, I ask them like what they're into, and then have a conversation about it just like I would an adult. And that just like blows people's minds. So yeah, it's like if you treat someone like a person rather than like someone who's not the same as you, then they tend to vibe with you more. They're more like like when people, especially like the other way around, when people are trying to like get something out of a staff member, like at a restaurant or at a hotel or wherever it is, and they get angry, I'm like, that's making them less likely to want to help you. They're more likely to like spit in your food or like not want to ask for an exception or whatever. So I guess it works both ways. Like, people are far more likely to do what you want them to do if you're nice to them. Right? And for when it comes to like working with kids, that might seem unrelated, but I think it's the same thing. Because like we had trouble getting some kids to like open up. They were just super shy. And then they would go like on lunch, and then they'd come sit next to me, and then we'd talk the whole time, and then the other counselors would be like, how did you get them to talk? And I'm like, I asked them what they were reading or like what their favorite Pokemon was, and then we talked about their favorite Pokemon or like the comic book that they liked, like I would with my friends. And so when it comes to like activities in like the classroom, they're so much more likely to do what you ask them because they trust you, and they trust that you care about them and how you feel and how they feel. I had so many people yell at me because they want a new set of bed sheets or something, and I was like, homie, you don't need to do all that, just chill, I was gonna do it anyway. Like, for real, I've had trouble, you know, like the wrong food came out when I ordered something, or they burnt my toast, or like the hotel room, I don't know, maybe I was too young for this, there was mold in the hotel room and I got really sick. That I feel like you have a little reason to be a little angry, but even with that, it's like I'm just nice about it. I'm just like, hey, sorry, but that's not what I ordered. Do you think you could possibly fix it for me? Or like, I don't know. It's just makes sense. It just makes sense. Be nice to people, they'll be nice to you. Not always, but for the most part. Like, some people just have a bad attitude, whether they're a customer or even like a staff member. Sometimes you have a bad day. I never want to assume someone's just like a nasty person. But like, still, like, even if someone's gonna be nasty with you, don't give them more reason to. If there was mold, I usually apologize, set them to a new room. If we were sold out, getting a refund if I was able to, would be a manager's discretion. Yeah, because that's really dangerous. I was a kid one time when we stayed at a kind of resort, not like anything fancy. It was in Williamsburg. And I had to go to the emergency room. I just couldn't breathe. And I don't even know what happened. I don't even remember. But I hope we got some sort of compensation, because that was super scary. Especially for like how old was I? 13? 12, 13? And I still have asthma. And now it's like, I don't want to, in case someone knows where I work, I don't want to mention too much stuff. But, you know, even in your own workplace, sometimes you have to vouch for yourself and like other vulnerable people. And I think it's justifiable to get angry at some point. Like, I've heard some people saying I had to go Karen mode because they weren't listening to me. I guess that happens sometimes. Sometimes you have to show that you're desperate, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever had to do that before, except with an insurance agent for health insurance, when they wouldn't cover. I don't think I went Karen mode, but I did not back down, because they were trying to tell me I could just take the alternative prescription, and I told them I've already tried all of those and none of them worked. I have to take this one. But they didn't want to cover it because it was still too new at the time in the US. And eventually they gave in. So like, I guess it worked, but I don't think I was like yelling or cursing at them or anything. I don't think I've ever gotten angry at like a stranger before. I usually just like, if something happens, I just go silent, which is maybe not the best thing. One time, though maybe it's because I'm a teacher now, one time not too long ago, I was waiting for the train to come on the platform, and I was waiting in the area, like you can see where the disabled seating will be, because I need to sit in the disabled seats. And so I was waiting in line. Everyone's lined up. Me and all the other old people, whatever, are lined up. And then as the train comes up, this elementary school kid, he was in his uniform with his backpack and everything, comes up and like tries to, as the doors open, he tries to pass in front of us. And my first instinct is, there's a gap between this platform, and there are people, including myself and someone else, holding canes who like should not have to, you could hurt them. So I held out my cane, I like stuck it out in front of him. I was like, please wait a second. And then I walked in, and he came in after me, and he didn't say anything. But that's like the most that I ever like interacted with a stranger. I don't know if I would do that if it wasn't a child. I probably wouldn't say anything. But for that, I was like, this boy needs to learn he's gonna actually like someone. This is why you're supposed to wait until people get off, and then you wait in line for everyone to get on. It wasn't like a super big gap, because most train stations nowadays don't have super big gaps because people fall in them, but it still happens. So yeah, I went a little bit teacher mode on him, but I didn't yell. I was just like, chotomate ne, and I like went in before putting my cane down. And he was like, oh. He didn't say anything, he just like stopped in surprise. Is it looking like cotton candy yet? I know we only have 2 colors. I gotta make sure none of these blank spots, like, none of them are too big. We don't want any of the same color, because it'll look too flat. For big areas, I mean. Yeah, it's definitely easier to blend on the Bristol board, but this is fine.
maybe like that. There's little bits. This is gonna look a lot better with the darker colors. I'm excited. I guess I can get strict. Like the other day, this was in a class. Like they're college students. These boys just kept talking in Japanese, and the rule is no Japanese in English class, like a lot of places. Because like it's harder to switch between languages than it is to just try your best in one language. And they just kept talking to each other in Japanese while I was speaking and while other students were speaking as I was asking them questions. And I was just like, what are you doing? I just looked, I was like, why? Why? And I didn't like yell at them, but I was just like, I don't understand. I told them, I don't understand what you're doing. Do you have a question? If you don't know how to say it, there's a poster like in the room with like common phrases, like how do you say such and such in English, or I don't understand. So yeah, I just had to like stop the lesson for like a good 20 seconds and just say, why? Why are you doing this? And there are other teachers at the school who would definitely go off way more, but I'm not that kind of teacher. I did get a little frustrated with some first years, just because, was it first years? Or maybe it was second years, that's why I was frustrated. Because they just weren't, like they didn't understand, but they weren't asking questions. They were not asking questions, and like they have, like, this is not their first year either doing conversation classes. So like, if you don't understand me, ask. You're not doing yourself any favors, just ask. And I always ask, do you understand? Do you have any questions? Do you know this word? It makes you want to pull your hair out. So finally, I like went back and forth about this one thing, because basically I asked about their week, and they were just not saying a full sentence when we're supposed to be practicing full sentences. And I was like, we've learned this. I know you can do this. So we're gonna get it until you remember. And so we just worked on it until finally she got the full sentence. She told me everything she wanted to say. And I was like, see, I told you could do it. Even if it takes you a minute to remember or you forget a word, like you can do it, just try. There are some kids, like most of the kids are great. Especially because we play games in class, and they like the games, they like to have fun. We've had, like in my experience, there was one kid who was asked to leave. Because he didn't want to be there and he just made life miserable for everyone else. And he eventually, I don't want to get into too much detail. Basically, he had a sharp pencil and he another student. And that was caught on camera. And then in the same class, he said a very violent threat to another student who was just trying, like basically they told him not to skip ahead in the textbook, and then he was like, go die. And it was caught on camera with audio and everything, and we were like, bruh, you know that's not acceptable. You obviously don't want to be here, and it's not fair to the other kids. So we contacted the parents, and there's been other kids who had to leave, but I don't think it was, like, one kid was very, very young, and he had behavioral issues, like, not in a malicious way. We were not equipped for that, and it wasn't safe for the other students. So, I don't know what ended up happening, just that, I don't know. we talked to the parents, and he stopped coming. I don't know if I should have gone that dark that quickly. Which one was this? E470? I think I should have gone in with R20. To find it out. The first kid, the one who, like, told the girl to go die. I don't want to give too much detail. I guess, hopefully that's not too much. He was not, no. Like, he just, I think what was really obvious to myself and the other staff there was that, when we contacted the parents, they didn't do anything. So, he just was not expecting any consequences, basically. I'm gonna go for R21. We're just working it out here. I feel like that might be too light. For the other one, like, he was so young anyway. Like, he just needed a doctor or medicine or something, and that's fine. And I've had other students who were like, it was difficult to have class with them, but I know it's not their fault because they did have issues and they didn't do anything maliciously, and we tried to work around it. Sometimes it was a little unsafe, like if they had very little impulse control and so they want to go play with the electrical socket. And so we had to, you know, stop class for a second and be like, you can't, we gotta stop. But like, I didn't hold it against him. He's trying to focus on me again. Stop focusing on me. And there are students who get like one-on-one time as well. And that's fine. I think a lot of the time it's not the student's fault when they opt out. But like there's a point in which like you have to consider everyone involved and how their behavior affects the other students there who are paying, like their parents are paying for them to be there and get a good education. For college classes, it's different. For college, it's like, listen, I know your parents are probably paying for this because that's usually how it is in Japan. Because it's not nearly as expensive in Japan to go to college. But, like, that's on you. I'm not going to chase you down if you forget your homework or if you don't study for the test. Like, that's on you. You're an adult. Like, if you need help, if you have a question, contact me. You have my information. Like, you know how to contact me. Talk to your classmates if you miss class, but, like, that's your job. That's not my job. My job is to teach you, and if you don't want to keep, like, retain that information or put any effort in on your end, then what can I do? And in both, like, regardless of the age of the student, whether it's college or elementary schooler, like, I've had students who miss a lot of class and they miss work because of, like, genuine, like, issues at home or, like, health issues. And I've had to, again, I don't want to give too many details, but, like, there are times when I said, no, they didn't pass the class, but I don't hold it against them. Or, like, if a student falls asleep in class, for the most part, like, usually I'm like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And then I ask, how much sleep did you get last night? And they're like, not much. I'm like, why? And if they say something like, too much homework, okay, let's see if we can figure something out. Or if they're like, I was gaming last night, usually they'll give me like a sheepish grin, and I'm like, yeah, we know that was maybe a bad decision. And I've never had, you know, I've had some people with low work ethic, but usually they're not disrespectful. I don't know. When you're, you know, over the age of 18. I know your brain's not fully developed yet, but like sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. R120. What? This one. Is that lighter or darker than this? It is lighter. I'm going with this one. I think a lot of us would annoy a lot of people when we were in high school. I was a very studious individual, so it couldn't be me. Blend out with this one. I don't think I annoyed anyone except maybe my mom sometimes at home, but not at school. I mean, even at home, I was not a bad kid. I never went out. Actually, in high school, I remember there was one boy. I was using the microwave. Oh no. Oh no, someone get rid of the bot. Goodbye. Someone's playing Mario Kart on my homepage. Banished. Goodbye. Okay. I mean, everyone's different. That's the thing. Like, I've had a lot of kids who, like, they seem like they're not paying attention, but they are absorbing it. They end up doing well. There is a point where it's like, school is not just about getting good grades, it's also teaching you how to interact with people. And, you know, you should learn how to be polite to authorities and like do what they say. But like, I would never assume that everyone has to be like sitting down taking notes in the exact same way to be doing well. Oh, I made a mark here and me too. Pretend it was intentional. But yeah, I was saying I was using a microwave in the cafeteria at school one day, and a boy came up and was so mad because he wanted to use it. He was like, "Who's using the microwave?" Blah, 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 blah. And then he saw I was standing there waiting for my food. He's like, "Oh my god, Emily, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was you. I'm so sorry." Like he kicked a puppy or something. That's the kind of person I was in high school. I was very innocent. I never made anyone mad. Except maybe my sister or my brother when he would leave his dirty clothes and dishes around the living room. I have to keep telling myself this will draw a little bit lighter. I was accused of cheating once, actually. I was doing Japanese classes remotely, and my sister and I have a twin sister. We were both taking the same class, but like we wouldn't ever do work together. Like we would like go into different tables during study hall and do our Japanese separately. We wouldn't even like be working on the same things at the same time. We wouldn't even talk to each other about Japanese class. But we had to do a translation of, I think it was Jack and the Beanstalk. So we had to translate Jack and the Beanstalk into Japanese. And then the teacher contacted the school and said our translations were too similar and that we must have copied each other. And of course we both insisted. We didn't even know the other had like finished it yet. Like we didn't talk about it at all. And like we ended up like we had a, I don't even remember. My mom's a teacher as well. So she talked to like the vice principal or whatever. And like one of the examples, because my mom was like to the teacher that accused us, she was like, they're twins. Like they have all the same life experience. They have the same DNA. They process things in the same way. Obviously, they're going to have similar answers. And actually, one example she gave her was our PSAT scores. Because obviously we did not communicate during the PSATs. It was all proctored. And we got the same PSAT scores. I think it was slightly different in different categories, but the number at the end was exactly the same. And then at the end of our high school career, I missed a lot of school for like medical reasons, but I still like, I was high honors and everything. And so at the end of the year, my sister was valedictorian and I was salutatorian. And I was 1/10 of a point behind her. That's why I was salutatorian. And I told her already, like in junior year, I don't want to compete with you. Because I knew it was just going to be me and her. I was like, I hate geometry, okay? So like, you can have it. But yeah. So eventually the accusations were dropped. We genuinely, I'm not lying. I didn't even know she had finished the assignment, okay? We didn't talk to each other about it at all. We studied the same textbook and like the same grammar points. So why would it not be really similar? That's what I don't understand. It was a simple story. So I don't understand what exactly was so similar about it that she would think that we were cheating. But yeah, I was never again accused of cheating, ever. Because I never cheated. Never in my life. There was one time, and I still have memories about it now, where I remember I was writing a book report on Harry Potter in the 8th grade, and I went on to Wikipedia just to look up more information quickly so I didn't have to like go into the book and look up stuff for like one detail or whatever, like when it was published or whatever. And then I saw in the description it said it was a subjective story. And I was like, oh, it is. And so I ended up using like the word subjective in my essay or something. And then I promptly like forgot what I had written. And so when the teacher started like reading my essay, she was so impressed. She was like, oh, it said, because that was high level for like 8th grade. And she was like, yeah, whose perspective is it from? And then I just like clammed up because I was like, what did I mean to say? Like what? And I was like, did I just copy Wikipedia and not actually use my own words? But then I was like, I think I was talking about the Half-Blood Prince. And it's not only told from Harry's perspective, even though a majority, I'm sorry to keep shaking by the way, but there's nothing to do about this desk. A majority of it is Harry's perspective, of course, but especially from like the 4th book onwards, mainly the 4th and the 6th books, I think have like the largest amount of like other people's perspectives. And so I was confused until she was like, it's told from Harry's perspective, right? And I was like, oh yeah. But part of my brain is still like, you use that word from Wikipedia and then you forgot what it meant for a second, so you must have cheated. Obviously, realistically, especially as a teacher now, I know I didn't. I know what I was talking about. I just learned a new word and I decided to use it because it seemed to work well for me at that time. But like it was still new to me and so I wasn't used to using it. So it's fine. But it makes me think, oh no, I copied Wikipedia. Like like one time I was writing an essay about the Lord of the Rings in college for my Tolkien class, and I looked in a thesaurus, another word for greed, to describe the dwarves and what happened to the dwarves, and I found the word avarice. I was like, oh heck yeah, and then I used it, and I got a good grade on the paper. I was like, I didn't know that word before I googled it, or not Google it. It was a thesaurus, I think. Merriam-Webster, like the website. I felt a little guilty because I was like, but that's like how people learn to write, so that's fine, right? As long as I use it correctly. Or I guess even if I don't use it correctly, it's a good learning opportunity if the teacher's like, I don't think you know what that means. I've had to do that very often. Very many times. Especially like words that are similar but are used a little differently. Not think of a good example now, but there are plenty to choose from. No, I can't think of an example. But it happens when you're learning another language. Okay, I feel like there's too much, like we need an in-between. So what is in between? Basically, what did we go for? E470 and E120. What's in between these colors? E21. Did I use that yet? Oh, R21. R21. So let's see if we can like. So, question: you're an English teacher. You do just teach English to non speakers? Do you analyze them? Really, both. It depends on the level that I'm teaching. And I also I like to study English on my own. I like to study like where things come from, so that, I mean, for my own enjoyment, of course, but also so that I can teach students about it, you know, because I think it makes me a better teacher. So like, when we get to like the really high level lessons, we do have to talk a lot about like nuance, or like why we would choose this, not even just vocabulary, but like why do we use this particular grammatical structure in more formal language versus if I'm talking to my friends, even though these two things have the same meaning, why would we use this versus this? So yeah, it's a mix of basic things and then much more advanced things, because I teach all different levels. I feel like this still isn't enough. Maybe I need the more of the R20. Maybe just too much of the lightest color. But also, I know my monitor is super like high contrast, so yeah, I just moved it to my others, to my laptop. Yeah, I think it's still too much. I'm gonna just take away some of this lightest color because we just don't need that much of it. Like here, there's whole big parts that I just don't think are that bright. I'm curious to get your takes on different media and your thoughts overall. Like the immediate example is Sleep Token is obviously my favorite obsession, but also other things like other songs are getting stories from these scenes and symbolism. It has to be something I know about, right? I don't know Sleep Token. Yeah, I promise I will listen. Like Skyrim. I talked a little bit about Skyrim and what makes it a good game and maybe some of its flaws. Like what? What do you want to know about? Animal Crossing? Naruto? This definitely needs a lot more of this. And that, like, there's colored pencil there, but like I didn't do shadow here. This is R120, R120. Is there something in between R120 and R21? Maybe I need more R21. I think I just didn't do enough dark colors. Is there anything that you enjoyed to deep dive? Oh, like the Tolkien universe, for sure. The kind of things that I just like sit and watch lore videos of. Tolkien. I could talk all day. I've done that in lessons before where people have like asked me like what's your favorite movies or books? And then I'm like, do you want me to go into detail? I feel like this is just too much. Maybe Cosmos? Like it's just too much contrast. The quick retrospective videos and they go on for hours. I love those. This looks almost too dark now. What is in between? We need an in between Cosmos and what is R120? R. Okay, maybe we just gotta do more of this one then. Then we can blend it out with R120. What is the deeper lore implication of Tom Bombadil? Okay, this is any opinion I have on Tom Bombadil is probably going to be not very satisfying, might be the word for a lot of people. Tolkien hated allegory. He hated allegory. He did not want anything to mean anything other than like what it is in the book. We can say that what he wrote about certainly influenced what he put in his stories, or what he wrote about was influenced by his life experiences, I'm sure. But they were never meant to be an allegory. So who is Tom Bombadil? Why does he sing for 2 pages? I think the lore implications are that he's a crazy old dude who is older than common sense, older than social norms, and he's a free spirit who is his own master, and he does what he wants to do, and he likes singing. And he's never felt like anyone has the power or any good reason to tell him that he shouldn't sing. And so why would he not? He's just a silly old dude. He's the oldest. And that's why he sings for 2 pages. Lots of people sing for 2 pages though. Who is Tom Bombadil? Like, are you asking as someone who's never read Lord of the Rings? Or are you asking in a more philosophical way, like, who did Tolkien mean Tom Bombadil to be? Which of the questions are there? Because those are both very common questions. Well, Tom Bombadil is a merry fellow. Bright blue his jacket is, and his boots are yellow. We used to call my cat Fatty Lumpkin. She had quite a pouch when we first got her. She was kind of a small cat. It just looked weird on her. She had a lot of loose skin, so we call her Fatty Lumpkin. Yeah, if you've only watched Lord of the Rings, okay. He's not in the movies. Good choice, because that would be insane if they tried to put him in the movies. Everyone would riot. There would be actual pandemonium. Tom Bombadil is someone the hobbits encounter in the Old Forest, which is also not in the movies. So basically they actually took some parts in the Two Towers from what actually happens in the beginning, basically the first to middle part of the Fellowship of the Ring book. So the hobbits are trying to leave the Shire, right? And so Frodo goes back to where he was born, which is closer to the borders of the Shire, and there's an old forest there, and it's called the Old Forest. And the hobbits go in because they don't want to take the main road, because at this point the enemies are after them, and if they take the main road, it's easier for them to be caught, right? So they decide to go in the Old Forest, which has a lot of tales told about it. Like, people are afraid of it. They say that the trees come alive and that they're evil, and that there was a big battle between the hobbits there and the trees where they ended up burning a whole bunch of them. This part is like not good anymore. And there's still the bonfire glade where they lit a whole bunch of them on fire. And then the trees have been even more angry at everyone ever since. And Merry, his family, are used to going into the forest, and so they're not quite as afraid. So Merry gets out his little key that his family has, and they go into the forest to leave the Shire without being seen, basically. And I need a different shade. I need something in between this and this. This is just too... It's too much. I'm gonna see if I can find some books. So, they go into the Old Forest, and they're immediately losing their way. Because what the trail they were following was doing, the trail is changing, basically. And they're being led. Like, the trees are actually moving. And so they end up getting so sleepy. They don't know why. They end up led to this creek, basically, this little stream, and an old willow tree. And they get so sleepy, and they lean up against the willow tree. And then the willow tree traps two of them. And one pushes one of the hobbits into the water and tries to drown them. And so Frodo wakes up, and he's like, oh my god, my friends are being drowned and, like, crushed in the tree, and so on and so forth. And so he hears someone singing, and he calls out to him. And it's Tom Bombadil. He's this man with tan skin and a long beard and bright blue jacket and yellow boots and a tall hat. And he comes singing to the tree, and he tells in song to Old Man Willow, leave these hobbits alone, basically. You shouldn't be waking. And so the willow lets them go, and then he invites them back to his house, and he's carrying water lilies, by the way. The only reason he went to the stream was to collect water lilies for his wife, and this was the final time that year that he would even be, because it was autumn at this point. Final time that year he would even be around there. So they were very lucky. I'm going to look for more markers. Hold on. I'm going to try 1895. 1895. Let's see if this is different. So they go to Tom's house. I think that might be good. Oh yeah. I think this is good. They go to Tom's house. They meet his wife, Goldberry, who seems like she calls herself the River Daughter. He calls her the River Daughter as well. And they're just sort of like these ethereal people who are not really like normal people. And they don't really know what they are, or who they are, or where they came from. They just know that they've been there a long time. At the very least, Tom says he's older. He's older than everything. He's older than the trees. And then Tom tells them many stories as they eat. You know, they eat food with him. They tell stories. They go to sleep, and there's scary noises in the night, but Tom says do not heed the night noises before they go to sleep. They all have nightmares, but it's fine. And then at one point, when they're telling stories, Frodo gives him the ring, and he puts on the ring, and he doesn't turn invisible. And they're like, oh my god, he's not turning invisible. Because, apparently, it's because the ring, Tom is his own master, so the ring has no power over him. So what is assumed is that Tom Bombadil must be one of the Ainur. So he's one of the, basically before elves and men and dwarves were created, before even time and space were created. Eru Iluvatar, basically the All-Father, the main god in this universe, created the Ainur, which are just spirits. And there are in the lore like different levels of Ainur based on how like powerful they are. And the strongest of them are called the Valar. And there are 7 male ones, 7 female ones. And okay, that does look a lot better, but I still think this needs to be blended more. And so, who is Tom Bombadil? He doesn't appear to be an elf. He does not appear to be. He's clearly not a man either. He can do what seems like Tolkien famously has a soft magic system. So, what is magic? Who even knows? There aren't rules to it. But he can clearly perform some sort of magic. When he's running around in Goldberry's rain, Goldberry makes it rain. Or like, I guess she doesn't make it rain because nothing on 2 feet, he says, makes it rain. But Goldberry likes the rain for her washing days, I guess. That's what he calls them. But like when he's running around, he's like flapping his hands. And when he comes inside, he's not wet. So he's clearly not human. He's not Hobbit. He's not human. What is he? He's probably an Ainur. Probably one of the Ainur. Probably existed well before Arda, the planet, even existed. Before time and space existed, probably. He said he's the oldest. He said Tom is the oldest. Is he the oldest on Arda? Maybe. It's possible he was the first one to go to Arda when Eru Iluvatar asked all of them who wants to go to Arda. So yeah, that is Tom Bombadil. Is he Eru Iluvatar? I don't think he's supposed to be. I don't think Eru Iluvatar is ever going to, like in any of the works, is ever actually shown on Arda. I think that's very purposeful. It's starting to look a lot better now that I'm adding this pink. So, some people say that Tom Bombadil and Goldberry are basically Tolkien inserting himself and his wife into the stories. I don't think that's true, because I think if Tolkien was comparing himself to anyone in any of his stories, it was Beren, and that his wife was Luthien, and they put Beren and Luthien on their tombstones, right? So if you go to their graves, it says Beren and Luthien. So I really don't think Bombadil was supposed to be Tolkien. Or Eru Iluvatar. I think he's just supposed to be one of the Ainur who is just Tom. He's just Tom. He is who he is. Who is Tom? Who are you, Master? Is what Frodo says. And he says, don't you know already? I am Tom. Tom is Tom. He's just Tom. He's Tom Bombadil. The elves call him Iarwain. So I guess he does have other names he could go by, but he calls himself Tom. He sings about himself as Tom Bombadil. And he has some nice ponies who love him very much. Eldritch is a word for it. He's an inexplicable being. He's above being. Maybe that's what he is. He's above being. I'm like, it looks a lot better in person than on my monitor. Not sure what to do. We need more contrast for sure, like in the darkest parts, and maybe then it'll start coming together. But I still feel like the lightest spots are still a little too light. Maybe I just went too light at first. I'll go back in with the E470 maybe, and just cover everything. That looks looks better. I like that more. I'm trying to layer over everything, so even the same color that I put down earlier, this will be darker, you know, because it's like layering two layers of the same color, and it makes it dark. Hopefully we don't lose anything that I did. This part I'm not happy about. I accidentally went too dark. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. It was just too bright, too much contrast. And it is a little more like magenta-y, like more blue in the reference photo, but I'm trying to keep it warm because everything else is warm. Okay, I think that does look better. They do. Okay, that makes more sense to me. This started too light. Let's put some of the darker bits in then. I still have, what am I waiting to use? This one, R28, for like the smallest, like here. Actually, it looks lighter now that it's layered on top of that. And like some of these bits here. So yeah, when we were playing Skyrim the other day, and Billy, our little Billimuck, started like floating in the air and defying physics. That's why we were calling him Tom Bombadil. He is above your laws. He is older than the laws. I do love Tom Bombadil though. Oh no. How can you doze off after drinking coffee? Also, can I rant a little bit? Now that we're on the topic of Lord of the Rings. I know any true Tolkien fan understands why the Eagles couldn't take the ring to Mordor. But, yeah, tolerance. Or just being really, really sippy. But in case it's not clear, in case you only watch the movies and you don't have enough context to know why the Eagles couldn't just fly to Mordor, it's kind of a two-part reason. One, logically, they would get caught. It would be really obvious. He would see them from a distance. He's got a giant eye. He would see them from a distance. He already had flying Nazgul, at least by the end. He probably was preparing that earlier on. Maybe none of the current... I mean, dragons! Dragons! We don't know how many dragons were on his side. That's why they want to get rid of Smaug, probably. But, man, he could have taken care of them. But there's also, like, a bigger reason other than the fact that... it just obviously, logistically, it wouldn't work. The great eagles, the giant eagles, they were created by Manwë, who is never mentioned, of course. Like, none of the Valar are ever mentioned, actually, in the Lord of the Rings. Makes sense, basically. Well, kind of. They mention Elbereth. So Varda, I guess, because he gets, like... does he say Elbereth? Does he, like, call... He must. Wait, I don't remember. Is that the movie? Anyways, doesn't matter. If you only watch the movies, you don't really know who the Valar are, or what they did, or what they're doing now. But the Valar are the Ainur, the most powerful of the Ainur, who do not live on Middle-earth anymore. Because at this point in time, they're leaving Middle-earth to the men, basically. But also, historically, it's been a bad time for them on Middle-earth. So they're the ones who came down to Arda on behest of Eru Ilúvatar, and they created Arda. So there's basically, if you think of them as like, what's like the standard like Germanic pantheons of like, we have a thunder god, we have a water god, and so on and so forth. Or like the Greek pantheon, they're often compared to. So like Olmec, created the seas and the water, and Manwë created the wind and storms, and so on and so forth. They created Arda and all the wonderful things, but at the same time, when you hear, I think that's in the movie, right? Legolas says, a Balrog of Morgoth, when the Balrog comes up. Who is Morgoth? He was Melkor. And he used to be a Valar. He's not considered Valar anymore because he's bad. But he created Discord. He invented Discord in the universe. When, in the beginning, there was music called the Ainulindale. So, Eru Ilúvatar had the Ainur. He, conducted them basically, and they created time and space with their music. And Melkor didn't want to listen. Melkor didn't want to be bossed around, so he literally created Discord, and he corrupted other Ainur in the process as well. And by the way, he's Manwë's brother. And I mean, even though the and Ilúvatar is all father, but they're like brother and spirit, I guess. But basically, he went down to Arda as well when Eru Ilúvatar was like, basically they made the music, saw what the world can be, and then he was like, do you want to go down and make that stuff? And they're like, cool, yes, please. And so a lot of them went down, including Melkor. And Melkor just wanted to do things his own way. So he kept messing things up for everyone. And it took approximately just over 17,000 years before they even just stop, before the story even really starts, kind of. And so Melkor was always causing trouble, and that they called him Morgoth once the elves started interacting with him. They're like, he's the dark enemy. So he became known as Morgoth eventually, but his original name is Melkor. But so basically, there's historically, I'm going to skip a whole bunch of stuff, and this is the whole before time, before the ages, before the trees, and then before any of the ages. We're in the third age basically later on. But he caused so many problems for everyone and just messed everything up basically, right? And so whenever the Valar fought against him, properly fought against him, they there was destruction. So they would make mountains, he would destroy them. At one point, this is during one of the most famous wars, and this included with the elves. There was so much destruction that Eru Ilúvatar just took the entire northeast of Middle Earth and sunk it under the ocean because it was too messed up. It was too destroyed. So basically, after that point, and then something kind of similar happened in Numenor as well, because Eru Ilúvatar was like, okay, you guys are bad now, under the water. And so basically, the Valar are like, I kind of like this place. I don't want it destroyed. I like the people here. I like the things I made. And so they decided they had to stop directly intervening because them versus Morgoth always destroyed everything. And so that's why after Morgoth was defeated and banished to the edge of the universe, until the end of time when they're gonna battle one more time, basically in a Ragnarok style thing, and then he's gonna win, and then I'm like, yeah. Until that point, he's banished, right? But Sauron was his lieutenant. He was basically his right hand man, and Sauron is still around. He can't be killed. If anything, they would have to just banish him too, but he's immortal. So basically, Sauron started doing his own nonsense. Got Numenor sunk under the sea, and they, even though I guess he's technically not as powerful as Morgoth, though you can argue that Melkor lost a lot of his powers. He used his power to make terrible things, and so he basically put his power to other things, so maybe he wasn't quite as powerful by the end of it. But at the beginning, he stood above the clouds. His feet were at the bottom of the ocean and his head was above the clouds, and so they don't have physical bodies either, but they could basically, they called it their raiment. They could make their own forms, whatever they want, based on who they are. So that's why I did quotations around female and male, because technically they're not female or male. It's just what they feel. So hashtag Tolkien supports trans rights. Happy Pride Month. But basically, the Valar do not want to go head to head with Sauron because they would just destroy everything. He would destroy everything. They don't want him to feel threatened by them because he would just destroy everything. And so everything they've been doing since like towards the beginning of the Third Age has been really low key. So essentially, the wizards were sent on behest of basically Edward Iluvatar, but the Valar, who are also supporting. Also, who is Manwë? I need to say who is Manwë. Manwë is the king of Arda, basically. He's the most, they say, the most powerful of the Valar, and the best at like doing what Iluvatar asks, basically, like most loyal. Not that other ones aren't also loyal, but also Mandos, the guy, basically he's like, people compare him to Hades. He controls like where the souls go when they die. The Halls of Mandos, that's not his real name, but they call him that now. He you could fall asleep, it's your bedtime story. But he knows the most about Iluvatar's designs, but Manwë is like his biggest servant, I guess. I don't know. So he's called the King of Arda, right? He's basically the leader of the Valar. He's the one who created the winds and the storms, and he created the eagles. The eagles are his. And so if they were to send the eagles directly to Mordor, what would Sauron think? He'd be thinking, oh, Manwë's attacking me. I'm sorry, what? I don't know how else to... You need a lot of backstory before I can, like, describe my main points. Basically, the Valar don't want to go head-to-head with Sauron because it would end in everything being destroyed. So they have to be sneaky about it. And that's why the East Study the Wizards were sent nerfed, basically. So they were originally... They are Ainur as well. They are Maiar, which are the lower level. Not quite as strong as the Valar. But they were asked to go in sort of like man-like forms with nerfed powers to lead men and elves, and mostly men, to help themselves. So that's like a covert kind of operation. But if the eagles went straight to Mordor, Sauron would be like, Manwë and all of the Valar, basically, because Manwë is the leader of the Valar, are attacking me, so let me just go nuclear. And then that would be terrible. It would be so bad for them. They would lose probably a lot more than just Benedian that went under the sea and Numenor. So that's why we cannot send the eagles straight to Mordor, because it would scare Sauron and he would do a lot of bad things. So yeah, for lore purposes, it would not work. They're not normal eagles, you know that, right? I just explained. They were created by Manwë. And yes, they can be injured by arrows. In fact, that's one of the reasons that Gwaihir, the Windlord, owed Gandalf a favor. Which, that whole thing on the Tower of Orthanc, with like the moth in the movie, I'm not mad about it, but if you've only watched the movies, then you don't understand what happened. Because that didn't happen in the books. It was a coincidence that, in the books, it was a coincidence that Gwaihir happened, the big eagle who picked up Gandalf, it was a coincidence that he happened to see him and was like, oh gee, wow, what are you doing here? This is weird. And then Gandalf was like, yeah, Saruman's bad. And then Gwaihir was like, oh, rip, okay, bye, let's go. Because he owed Gandalf a favor because he got shot with an arrow and Gandalf helped him. So they are mortal. They live a long time, but they're also like super eagles. I don't want to say superhuman because they're not human, but they're not normal eagles. They are apart from normal eagles. There are normal eagles that exist, but they were not created by Manwë. They were created by another person who created the birds and the beasts. And so they are kind of super animals. But they are mortal and they can be injured with the weapons of man and orc and what have you. But also they are the servants of Manwe, so like they don't get involved with politics and stuff. And people generally don't mess with them because they're giant and they have giant claws and giant beaks and they're rad, so why would you? How are we thinking? What are we thinking? I teach English. I know how to speak English. Exactly! You are correct. All of that stuff that happens where it's like, oh, wow, good timing. Or, oh, isn't it interesting that they found this thing at this very moment? Or whatever. It's never coincidence. Not really coincidence. Everything is determined by Eru Iluvatar. It was either Eru himself just doing this, or the Valar might have set some things in motions without people really knowing. That's possible as well, because they are servants of Eru Iluvatar. They do fulfill his will and his designs. But yeah, so it is all like I think Galadriel tells Frodo about it as well, or Gandalf might mention something like nothing doesn't happen for any good reason. Nothing ever happens for no reason. It's all Edu's choice. How did Frodo end up destroying the ring? No one could have resisted the ring. Not even like Aragorn, not the best person in the entire world with the best intentions, because it's impossible. No one could have resisted the ring. But the Valar and then Eru, so like Eru and the Valar all work together to get him to a position where he was at the cracks of doom, and Gollum was there and could bite off his finger and fall into the lava and destroy the ring. It was all by Edu's design. Which you could say is an allegory, but then Tolkien would be rolling in his grave, so don't say that. But Tolkien was also a devout Catholic. And perhaps the things he wrote about were slightly reflective of how he felt about other things in his real life. Especially when it comes to war and stuff. He was a World War I veteran. And he said in a letter that the character most similar to him was Faramir. And everyone knows the line, like, I do not... What is it? I should know this. This is usually stuck in my head. I do not love the sword for, its sharpness? I love only those that it defends. So I love the whole, that's honestly, sometimes I just go back into the books and I just read of Herbs and Stewed Rabbit. It's my favorite chapter. Or Treebeard. Treebeard's a good chapter. Never the Plains of Gorgoroth. That one, just skip it. Worst chapter in the entire series. The entire book. It's one book. It was only the publishers that made it 3 because of time stuff. How are we feeling? Do I need a little something? A little, like, it's my very favorite Holbein soft white. I'm gonna use this instead of a gel pen because it's not gonna be, it's pretty white, but it's not gonna be stark white. So I really just want to lighten up the bits I actually want light now that I realized too much of it was too light. And reduce that, and I'm gonna bring back some of that. It's just how this goes. It's a give and take. Also, I need to vent a little bit more about the Lord of the Rings and, like, I guess the fandom. I've been watching some videos, as I do, Lord of the Rings lore, and it drives me insane when people mispronounce people's names. it just, because there's pronunciation guides. Like, if you read The Children of Húrin, there's a pronunciation guide right at the beginning of the book that tells you it's Húrin. And of course, his children, who are named after him, Túrin, it's Túrin, not Turin. It's not Turin, it's Túrin. And I keep watching these lore videos, and it's like, clearly you know so much. Like, maybe you had to do a lot of research for this video, you don't know stuff, that's fine. But, like, clearly you know a lot, my guy. And you keep mispronouncing his name, one of the most important characters in the entire Legendarium, who's going to kill Morgoth at the end of time. You're mispronouncing his name, it's Túrin. It's not Turin, it's Túrin. I'm not calling out anyone in particular, I'm not going to say their name. But it bothers me. Especially, like, yeah, wiki pages read aloud. I know, I don't think this one creator who I was watching, I don't think that's the case, because he does a whole lot of videos for, like, many years. So I don't think it was one of those. But still. He could do better. You could just, like, actually, I don't know, I don't trust AI anymore. And I mean, I don't think I ever trusted it, but I was gonna say, you could just Google how to pronounce it, but if, like, Google Gemini is like, you say it like this, and it's completely wrong, what are you gonna do? It's Tootie. Please say it right. Also, I'm pretty sure it's Durin, not Durin. You know, the father of one of the houses of the dwarves. Durin's sons. Like, I like Ed Sheeran, but he should have said Durin. I'm pretty sure it's Durin. I don't think it's Durin. I think it follows similar pronunciation rules. Even though I know it's like a different race, but still. How are we feeling? I feel like because there's like a stark shadow in the back, I just gotta add more. I gotta, like, we gotta make it look 3D. I feel like the color pencil's not showing up much on camera. But I gotta add like that kind of situation. Yeah, okay, it's coming together. It's coming together. Also, Shadowfax. Let's talk about Shadowfax for a minute, because I think a lot of people don't actually know why he's special. So one of the Valar is like... trying to think of like an actual real world example of a hunting god. He's like the hunter, right? He's the god of the hunt. And he has a steed. He has Nahar, who is not a normal horse. So who is Shadowfax? Shadowfax is literally descended from this god's horse. That's why he's rad. He's not just like a cool horse. He is a cool horse, but he's also not a normal horse. He's like I can't say superhuman. He's a super horse. He's a super duper horse, because he's not a normal breed of horse. He's godlike and descended from gods. Same thing with we got to think of everyone descended from Melian. She was an Ainur, and we wonder, like, why is Elrond so special? Why is Aragorn so special? I hate to break it to everyone who didn't know this, but Aragorn and Arwen are related. They're cousins. To be fair, there are many generations between them because she's so much older than him, but they are related. They are both descended from Melian and Beren and Luthien. So, sorry. You can still ship them, it's fine. I guess so many generations have passed, it doesn't matter anymore. No one else seems to care. But basically, Elrond's brother was the first king of Numenor, and Aragorn is descended from the kings of Numenor. So, they are related. What else? Like a little bit here. So, also, Aragorn is not just a superhuman. Like, Numenorians in general, they don't explain in the movies what makes a Numenorian special. Why are the descendants of the Numenorians so rad? Like, why are the Rangers so rad? Why is Aragorn so rad? Aragorn's different because he's descended from the line of kings, so he's a little bit different. But they don't explain that the Herald of Manwë, so again in Ainur, gave them special powers as a thank you gift for helping them defeat Morgoth, right? So they have special superhuman powers. They're not normal. But Aragorn also is descended from the line of kings, which means that he's descended from Elros half-elven. So he has some elvish blood in him, but he's also, again, way back. So we know about Beren Luthien. They do mention, I think, briefly in the movies, but basically Luthien's mother was Melian, who is an Ainur. She was not elf or man, who fell in love with an elf, and they had children, and then they had children, and so Aragorn is of course man, but he's also mixed with elf, and he's also mixed with a lesser deity, basically. After many generations, so sure, maybe there's not that much Ainur blood in him, but he's still not normal. And then Arwen, of course, is much more closely related. We could also talk about Galadriel. I never finished watching Rings of Power. I don't like Rings of Power, so I don't want to talk about Rings of Power. But I want to talk about who Galadriel actually is and how rad she is, even though there's a little bit of conflict in some of his works about some things when it comes to Galadriel. But she is very, very old, okay? So she's 3rd generation elf, meaning her grandfather, her grandfather, right? Yeah, her grandfather was one of the first ones to ever wake up in Middle-earth, which slightly to the east, it's quite a ways to the east of where like most of the Lord of the Rings happens. Her grandfather awoke, and her dad, which I wish we heard more about, is like basically the raddest elf, like the least controversial elf in the history of Arda. He's just a cool dude, and I want to hear more about him, but I understand why we don't, because he just doesn't mess up. He's just so rad, but I want to hear more about him. Anyways, Galadriel is special for a lot of reasons, but that's bad. Maybe that's too much. There's too much like family history and names to bore people with. But she is super old, and there's a reason people respect her so much. I was pointing my finger, but it wasn't on camera. There's a reason people respect her so much. She's a very powerful lady. Basically, as the generations of elves went on, the earliest generations are called the Eldar. That's what they're called. And they, not to say elves, later generations of elves aren't powerful, but if we think about the soft magic system or like whatever, the oldest elves are more powerful. So the oldest elf in Middle-earth is Círdan the Shipwright, which we don't even see until the final movie at the very end. So I'm I guess in the Lord of the Rings you don't really see him, but you hear about him, right? You hear about Círdan, like at the Council of Elrond. But he's the only elf anyone knows of to grow a beard. Why is Círdan the only elf to grow a beard? Because elves go through different life cycles than men. They basically have several different kinds of puberty, and it takes a very long time to reach them. So Círdan's the only elf alive who is old enough to have reached the period of his life where he can grow a beard. That's why he has a beard. He's just an old dude. What do we think? Are we done? I think it looks cute. Should we do a little more at the bottom here? Like, does this need to be darker? I just want a little more contrast. The background will be white. And this paper is, I did go over this with a little bit of the Holbein white, but This paper is green. It's not pure white. Ah, I think this is cute. I wonder. I'm afraid to go in with this color on the edges, but I'm gonna try a little bit. I'm gonna try just a little bit. It is quite dark. It is quite dark. And I wish I blended out with this one. Is there one slightly less darker than this? Thought we got all the markers we needed. That is the R28. I gotta pee again. I might have to take a bathroom break. Oh, R280. I only wrote R28. But I know it's current. So something slightly lighter than current, which is right here. Slightly... Lipstick Natural? That might be good. E050. E050. E050, where are you? Sorry, I have to turn away from the mic because I put my markers on the floor. E0, oh, got it. Found it. Okay, let's see if this is better. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel like I can define, like, make it look more 3D. You know how there's, like, those tutorials of, like, drawing a ball and that teaches you how to shade and make shapes look 3D? That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the, like, when you draw a ball and you put the shade, the shadow here, that's what I'm doing. To make it look round. But I want to make it, I don't want it too smooth. I need to make that less smooth. Because it's not plastic. It's cotton candy. So I'm doing it because the light's coming from this way. So I do want it like on this side. That does look a lot better. And then, oh, I love that. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Like putting in some of those darker bits. Give it more texture. This could be a lot more. I don't want to really blend out because I'm trying to do like the sharp edges. Like if it's deeper, it's gonna be on the bottom right side. It's coming together. Maybe that was a mistake, I don't know. Here needs something. Yeah, there's like a whole darker bit here and I didn't draw at all. Wait a minute. What was I using? Not Cosmos. ER120. Make sure that's layered so it doesn't look weird. And then R200. Oh, I guess I got to do a little bit of this. Okay, that looks better. Alright, I think I'm gonna finish this here. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is just the latest story in the Legendarium. It's just the latest one. Like, you gotta just read the Silmarillion. Or break it up into parts, like Children of Húrin. That's the hardest part of learning Tolkien lore, or even just straight up just reading the Silmarillion, is genuinely remembering just the names. And, like, the families, and, yeah. You gotta, like, take notes. practically. So actually what helped me was listening to it. Rather than reading it, listening to someone reading it, listening to the audiobook. And then just, like, expect you're gonna forget something. And if you, like, learn about it enough, if you're, like, immersed in it enough, eventually you'll start to remember things. Like, I'm not even talking about, like, the different types of firstborn elves in their houses. Because there's how many? Like 9? It's too much. I'm not gonna even get into that. And like what they looked like based on what house they're from. Like the house of Finwë have dark hair and they like creating things, and so they became the closest with Aule, who is the Vala of, like, he's like the Vulcan of Tolkien's universe, where he like creates things, and that's who created the dwarves. That's just one example, and the other ones also have like very similar history, like descriptions and histories. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And that's not even all mentioned in the Silmarillion. Like, some of this stuff is in notes and letters. I keep saying, do we think it's done? Then I keep adding more. I think this looks so much better now. This looks so much better than it did before. And no, it doesn't look like the reference. That wasn't the goal. I wanted to make it, like, the reference seems like really pinky purple, I think. But I wanted this to be warmer to match the other ones. So I think it worked out. I think it would have looked different if it wasn't on this paper. If it was on pure white crystal board, it would have looked different. That's fine. I might adjust it. I think, like, I'm gonna put everything together once I scan and clean everything up. I'm gonna put it all together and just see how cohesive it is, and then if I need to adjust any of the colors, then I can do that. Because we live in 2025, and I have a free program that I can use to change everything. Okay. It is almost 6 o'clock. This is earlier than I thought I was gonna finish, because the last one just took so long, but I guess this one did not have as many pieces. Like, the apple had green, and then tan, and then dark brown. So it was like doing 3 different pieces of art in one go. So I'm gonna finish up there. I think I'm gonna use this, I keep forgetting it's called Tuscan Red, to sign. Oh, stay in the shot. Okay, I'll do it here. And that's it. I think that's it. I don't think there's much more I would change. My head's starting to hurt now. I need some blueberry sweat or something. I thought I finished my coffee. Wait. I have a little bit left. See? Nope, probably can't see. Oh, it's like a tiny bit. Oh, a treat. I opened it up to make sure there wasn't a fly in it, because I'm so traumatized. Oh, okay. So I think I'm gonna finish up this stream here. Thanks again to the wonderful people who joined in chat today. I still don't know why Restream is not showing me the number of viewers, but I know there was at least 3 of you, and I appreciate you being here and letting me lore dump Lord of the Rings on you and complain about some of my fandom pet peeves and whatnot. So I'll probably take a photo of this and post it on the Discord. I think I should do that every time I stream art. I need to remember to post the art so that you can actually see what it looks like. I usually do it on Instagram, at least. I'm still in the process of editing the Apple VOD to make it into a proper video with commentary. So maybe I'll finish that today. Depends if I start streaming Skyrim very soon, or is it gonna be Skyrim? It's too late to like do a poll. We could do a poll now. How many? I don't know how many people are here. It won't tell me. I'm gonna do a poll, and even if one person answers, that's fine. Okay, let me open up Twitch. Oh no, it's making me sign in because it's app. Hold on, I'll do browser version. Browser version. Open. Okay. Let's see, what do we have? Stream manager. What can I do? I don't think I've done a poll on stream before. There's a thing I click to do it. Wait, what do I click? Stream manager, got it. Community? Oh, okay. Activity? No, that's not it. Wait, what do I click? I remember seeing it. Where's the poll option? It said I could do it. I'm pretty sure it said I could do it. Oh, it says 4 viewers. Hello, 4 viewers. I can see now, but Restream's still not showing it. Am I... Streaming tools. Wait. Is this a Stream Elements thing? Does anyone know how to start a poll? I'm too new to this. I was streaming on YouTube for too long, and now I don't even know how to use Twitch anymore. I can Google it. This is which game? Oh, use the command /poll. Okay. This better work. Are you gonna laugh at me if it doesn't? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Oh, command unrecognized. I don't... Okay, so Google's wrong. How to use polls. It says create a new poll button. But where did it go? Is it because I'm on the browser? It's just in a different spot. It's possible. Creating polls. On your dashboard, for your first poll, click the create new poll button. I'm on the dashboard. What the heck do you mean? I am on the dashboard. Part of the page is cut off. Maybe that's the issue, because my monitor's doing... I don't know. I like put in my... I always have my HDMI cord in. And sometimes the resolution is screwed up. It's probably covered. Okay, I can scroll down now, but I put in windowed mode. What? What? I still don't know. Polls new favorite dashboard, new on your dashboard for click a new poll button. Where is it? It should be here, but it's not. Is it because I couldn't scroll down? Oh. Look, that is from soccer. What? I'm sorry, this is terrible. Terrible streamer behavior, but we should figure this out, shouldn't we? So that we can do polls in the future. Is this something I can do perhaps on as an overlay on Stream Elements? I'm on the creator dashboard, layout. Bruh. That, edit stream info, manage goals, stream together. There should be a button, and I saw it before. I swear I saw it last stream. It's not there anymore though. Maybe I'm not allowed. Oh, I swear I saw it during the last stream though. How do people start a poll in the middle of streams then? What about extensions? Maybe there's just like a fancy poll extension that I can do instead of the usual one. Because the how to use polls on Twitch is not helping me at all. Polls can be created by streamers from the dashboard and new creator dashboard. I'm here. Is it hidden under some engagement? No, that's just information. Content. Settings. Your rewards. Stupid. I don't understand. Stream. Okay, I'm gonna go to Stream Elements, see if we can at least do. Let's see. I feel like this is good to do now that I've finished this art, but I haven't started the next stream yet. Okay, now where's my dashboard here? They're changing everything. Okay, so I'm on Stream Elements. What can you do for me? Streaming tools. Elements? No. Overlays? No. I don't get it. There should be a, where is the poll button? Maybe that's why I Googled. Where is the poll or make a new poll button on Twitch? It says use the command or navigate to creator dashboard and there. You'll need quick actions and add the manage poll option. I was looking for it and it was not there. Quick actions, add. It's just not available. Is it not available? Am I not allowed? I swear I saw it before. I swear. It's not there, even if I search. Yeah. Make, nope. Maybe create, nope, nothing's there. I'm searching the quick actions in the search bar, in the quick actions menu, and there's no poll. So I'm gonna Google, why can't I create a poll on Twitch? Maybe it was like tantalizing me with it. Maybe I don't actually have enough, what is it called? The streak. That's alright. I'm gonna do, let's see. We're gonna do our own kind of thing. Stream. Poll. Let's see if there's like a third party polar. Yeah, I'll set it up for later maybe. Okay, so how about anyone who's still in chat? Someone left. What should I stream after this? At like, we'll say like 7 o'clock. Should I stream Skyrim, Stardew Valley, or Bully? Those are my options I'm giving you. I don't think there's another one that I want more. I'm gonna make a text box. Alright, do we want... I'll give you 3 options. Skyrim, Stardew Valley, or we could do Ocarina of Time as well. We'll say Bully. I'll give you 4 options. Or Ocarina of Time. Rando. We're gonna do a randomizer if we do Ocarina of Time. It is 256. That's really big. And then we'll do Outline. Outline's not working. I gotta pee really bad though, so. Answer quickly. Skyrim, Stardew Valley, Bully, or Ocarina of Time. We have 1 vote for Bully. It says we have at least 2 other viewers on Twitch. I don't know about YouTube. YouTube, feel free to write in the YouTube chat if it's working. I hope Restream is showing YouTube chat. Because Restream is being weird today. I don't know why. I hope it's on YouTube. It was before. Let me check. You don't have like, there's no like dashboard or anything, is there? You just have to go on there. 1 watching. Okay, so we have 1 more. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I hope it's on YouTube. It was before. Let me check. Ranked choice voting? How? That means I have to use my brain. Wait. Ranked choice. Okay. Ranked choice. Go ahead and put in the chat ranked choice. Which one? 1 through 4. I would love to play some Bully actually. That would be nice. A nice break from Skyrim. Voting? That means I have to use my brain. Wait. But so far we only have 1 vote. Ranked choice. So if no one else tells me what they want, we're gonna play Bully. Put in the chat ranked choice. Which one? 1 through 4. I would love to play some Bully. I'm gonna go pee. And when I come back, then our decision will have been made. So give me a second. I'm gonna mute my mic and then I'll be back and then we'll have our choice. I'm gonna go pee. And when I come back, then our decision will have been made. So give me a second. I'm gonna mute my mic and then I'll be back and then we'll have our choice. I'm back. How do we... Wait, how do we do this? If there's 2 votes, and they're different. Okay, so Ocarina is 3rd place. I'm back. For both of you, right? How do we... So we might do an Ocarina of Time random. How do we do this? Is that how this works? I have voted for presidential elections and state elections. Okay, so Ocarina is 3rd. But I don't want to hurt my brain. That is correct, right? Because like they're completely opposite, right? No, actually Skyrim is 2 and then wait. So how does this work? How does this work? Does that mean Skyrim? That is correct, right? Wait, so Skyrim got a 1 and a 2. Wouldn't that mean like if you add them together, the lowest number is the winner? So I think that's what that would mean. Yeah, that's true. Does that mean Skyrim? I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to play Skyrim again. I mean, I don't have to do it. I don't have to listen to either of you. But it would be nice to get a break from Skyrim. But maybe I just need a break from Solstheim. Maybe I just need to get off Solstheim and go do something else for a while. So I'm getting kind of burned out on Dragonborn stuff. But my piggy won't follow me, will he? My horsey will. I go back to Skyrim and then he came back, right? He came back when I went back and he was on the ship and I was like, oh my god, that's funny, he's on the ship. So yeah, maybe we'll do Skyrim, but what should we do on Skyrim? That's the question. But my piggy won't follow me, will he? It's just we've done so much Skyrim and I kind of abandoned Bully, but also a nice little rando is so chill. A nice little Ocarina of Time rando. And also I haven't played Stardew in forever. That I feel really bad about because last time I was streaming Stardew Valley, my internet connection just kept crapping out on me. So there's a whole lot of VODs that just end really abruptly. And I feel like for me, I like going back and watching VODs and like watching them all in a row. And I just feel like that's a terrible viewing experience. Streaming Stardew Valley. So someday I should go back to Stardew. So there's a whole lot of VODs. The only thing I'm worried about with Bully is I have to remember which controller worked best. I have my stream on in the background. Oh, because YouTube is up. I'm sorry. I'm a good streamer. It's because I had the coffee shop open at the same time and I just didn't. Yeah, sorry. Okay, that should be better, right? Sorry about that. I went to check how many viewers I had on YouTube because Restream is lying to me. Screw democracy, let us embrace the dictatorship. The problem is the dictator can't make a decision. The dictator doesn't know what she wants. I still haven't. I need to make a emote for Billy. I keep trying to figure out, like, do I do it from the front and we see his like big old pig snout? But he's not like a farm pig. He looks different, and I can't find a good reference. I have to like go in the game and take a screenshot. Are we feeling... Well, Skyrim can be chill, right? If we leave Solstheim. Solstheim is not chill, okay? Which game am I closer to finishing? I mean, it's not like I'm in the middle of a rando that I've... Like, last rando I never finished, but like I'm gonna start a new seed. Bully we're like a good 50% at least through. So we did, obviously we did chapter 1 with the bullies. We beat the preps. We just beat, was that the nerd one? No, we didn't properly do nerds yet, did we? We're on the greasers. We're like partway through the greasers. So if we're closest to finishing any game, it's Bully. But it wouldn't be finished this stream, I think. Probably not. Probably not. It's probably still a few hours more than what stream would allow. And then Stardew, I would want to start a new one just because it was interrupted so much. I still haven't played all the way through the 1.6 update. Like, I haven't seen everything, and I purposely stopped watching people so I wouldn't be spoiled, and that was like a year ago. So, Skyrim definitely not even close, because I don't want to really continue the main story until I've done like a whole bunch of Daedric quests. But I don't know. Just not that I'm getting bored with Skyrim, I'm getting a little overwhelmed with Skyrim. It's not a smooth game to play on the Switch. That's really all it is. It's like really hard to control the character and aim with the gyro and stuff. We could do something completely different. I could play like Skyward Sword or Hogwarts Legacy. I feel like that's controversial though. I explained this before, I wanted to give the developers my money, not JK. Because my friend convinced me to buy it when it was on sale. But I just feel like any Hogwarts Legacy stream, it's like, people are gonna ask questions. Well, Stardew would be on PC, Bully would be on PC. And the Ocarina of Time Rando would be on PC. But, Hogwarts Legacy would have to be on Switch, because I only have it on Switch. And like Skyward Sword would obviously be on Switch if I do that. I could play Tears of the Kingdom. Should I start a new Tears of the Kingdom? You say play. I want everything. I want to play everything. Bully would be fun though. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it would be less setup with the Switch because I already have everything set up for Skyrim on another profile. I'm the worst dictator. I'm no good. I'm not forceful enough. I'm the wishiest, washiest dictator. That's why I want you guys to choose. What do you want to see? Except, okay, why don't we say we've done a lot of Skyrim? Okay, we'll take Skyrim off the list. Take Skyrim off our list. Where's my text? There we go. So we have... I kind of don't feel like well, I could do a rando. I've never beat a rando before. It's just that would not be done today if I did an Ocarina of Time rando. So let's say Stardew Valley, Bully. I'm leaning towards Bully, not gonna lie. Or we'll say I don't want to do Hogwarts Legacy. I just don't know if that's something I want to do on stream, and I don't want to restart either, and I'm only partway through. Stardew Valley, Bully, or Skyward Sword. Or I guess I don't mind restarting Tears of the Kingdom, so we can say that. That's fine as well. So those are our new choices that I have to choose between. I'm feeling Bully. I just have to figure out which controller worked best because I was screwing up real bad. Wow. I'm hoping sometime soon, I guess. It's gonna be a while, I think, because there's still things to fix, but my friend is developing a game and I told him I would love to play it on stream. So as soon as it's an actual beta. Ooh, well, definitely an RPG. I love RPGs. A new game? Like one I haven't done before, you mean? I haven't. I started playing The Witcher 3, but I like paid 2 minutes of it, and I started playing God of War 2018, but I only played like 2 minutes of it. So they're still new to me. Or I could do something like Hades, but that would get really boring, I think, for me. I think I want to play Bully. I think the answer is Bully. Because Bully is fun, and it's chill, and, well, it can be a little stressful. Bully next? Maybe The Witcher, yeah. Yeah, I think I got it for my PS4 though, so I have to figure out... Oh, is that too big? I'm gonna delete that. Bye. Yeah, I've streamed from my PS4 before when I was doing Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's just I don't have my OBS set up if I do that. So how am I gonna do that? I could... really don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna set that up. I can figure it out though. I can figure it out. I just don't have an extra HDMI port. I've played a few Final Fantasy games. I love Final Fantasy VII the most. Honestly, it's been so long since I've played the original. I'd play that again, but I feel like that might be boring for some people since it's turn-based. And now people are used to like the remakes, I think. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But okay, so I do, it's almost 6:30, oh my god. Time flies when you're streaming, man. I have to eat dinner. Do I have to? I'm gonna take a quick break to set up stream again. And maybe possibly eat something. And then I'm gonna come back with hopefully the category changed and the tags changed if Restream wants to behave. And I'm gonna be playing Bully. So I'll be back in probably less than 30 minutes because honestly I don't think it's gonna take that long. But I just have to make sure I can get Bully set up. The only trouble is, as I've mentioned before, when it's full screen and I can't use my mouse. So it might be a little janky if I have to like fix something, but it should be okay. I have one. Wait, which one do I have? I know 14 is really cool. I like the medieval aesthetic or whatever. Sort of, it gives me like I've seen the cafe. I haven't eaten there, but I've seen the cafe in Akihabara because I went to the Square Enix cafe, which is nearby for the remake pop-up cafe thing. Because like Square Enix cafe, every time they do an event for a different game, and then they redecorate and change the menu and everything. And the Final Fantasy XIV cafe is nearby, and it's always Final Fantasy XIV. It looks really cool. So I am motivated to do it, but I tried getting it before, and I think it said I already signed up one time, and it wouldn't let me make a new account, so I have to figure that out. I could just use a new email, I suppose. But yeah, I gotta go so that I can set up the next stream. Will you guys still be around in like 20-30 minutes? Or will new people have to come in? Or will it be just like a me stream? I'll still stream, like, even if no one's there, because I'll always keep the VOD up on both Twitch and YouTube. Though this time of the day, more and more people seem to be logging on, so maybe more people will find me. Oh, okay. Well, if I don't see you later, have a good evening. Evening? Morning? I guess it's morning. Right? For you? It's evening for me. And then we'll see who shows up. It'll be on the same channel, so just like hop on in like 20 minutes and then I'll be back. So yeah, I really gotta go now then if I gotta reset it. So this is the art today. I'm gonna take a picture. Oh, we can do that together. Yeah, good morning. This will be good for the Insta, except for the shadows. Oh, that's bright. Moving my lamp. Oh, gotta move my microphone too. Let's take a photo. Wow. You know what? Maybe that's too much. Maybe this is better. My light died. Okay, maybe I'll have to do this. Yay! We got a photo and a thumbnail. Okay. Alright. I was gonna do Lord Billy, like, you mean continue the quest, or make an emote of him? Because we will continue with Lord Billy the Magnificent. We will continue sometime. It's just we've done so much Skyrim. And I abandoned Bully. Oh, emote. Yes, that will happen. Will it be on... I don't know if it'll be on stream, because I don't know how smooth of a process that's going to be. But I might... If it's possible... Like, I can take a time-lapse on Procreate, but it's going to be really, really bad quality. So yeah, we'll see if I make a Billy emote today or by next stream. I don't think I'm streaming on Friday, because I have a bunch of doctor's appointments, and I'll be gone like all day, unfortunately. But if I get home and I'm like, okay, I'll play a chill game or something, then maybe by Friday I'll have a Billy emote. I lost a cat. There's just a red marker. Oh, the carnage. I think it got on my leg. I guess I didn't cap it properly. Alright, properly gonna go now. I'll see you in a bit. Whoever joins me. Would love to see ya. It will be Bully. We're playing Bully, I decided. Dictator decided. Alright, see you guys in a bit.